really good to have somebody inside. No, I understand.
But we will talk about respect, okay? So, racing.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Slovakia Ring and the 2023 Saudi World Series International Finals. And it's lights a dream, we're off and racing. Here we go. 3 wide, 4 wide into turn number 1. We are getting set to crown the World Rental Kart Champions. 360 drivers from 50 nations are set to compete at this challenging 1200-meter circuit in equal equipment where driver talent will shine through. Great move! What a pass! The tension is reaching boiling point. It has been a dominant drive. And yellow flags are out. Drivers have to slow down. No overtaking. Red flags on the track. The race is being stopped. The tension is mounted. Here comes the line. Green flags are out again. We're back underway. Support your endurance podium. What a fantastic race.
Moving to Belgium. Genk.
Welcome back to Karting Genk for a Saudi World Series International Finals. We have one heat to go.
One set of heats to go. 8 races in total. Every one of the kids, the juniors, the masters, the women and the sprint drivers have raced twice today as you look at the home of Belgian karting, the home of champions. This circuit has been one of the headline acts of karting in Europe now for 3 decades and more. All the greats have raced here. Alonso, Button, Verstappen, Leclerc. You name them, they have raced here. And now it's the turn of the Saudi World Series drivers to take to the track for the final round of heats today. And don't forget, heat points up for grabs. The kids will be up first. Please keep your comments coming in on the Saudi World Series Facebook page. Also on the Saudi Kart YouTube channel, but there's no chat feature on that. But you can put your comments in on the Facebook live chat, and we will try our best to get as many of you mentioned as possible. And we do appreciate all your comments. We have had tens of thousands of views today so far.
We hope Australia is still with us.
Australia, if you're still awake, Australia, Brock Thornton and Mitch have got one more race to go. If you're still awake in Aruba, Amaro Maduro and Nathan Kroos have got one more race to go. But if you are anywhere in the world, please let us know where you are watching from and who you are cheering for. And we have the 8 race to go. But here at the track, we will have the welcome and presentation party just afterwards. So we will be getting underway in a few moments' time. The kids are up first. Now, let's have a look at the point standings. Lukas Dzierżycki with 62 points. Now, that tells me that he has won both his heat races. He certainly didn't win both on track, or did he?
Yes, he did. Lukas Dzierżycki won heat number 1. He won heat number 2. He was accompanied by very different drivers behind him, but he is the only one who has won both heats. I think he is the only one from all the categories.
Yes, he's the. I think maybe Simon Delven as well from Belgium. Has he won both his heat races?
Yes, Simon Delven was in Group A in the first heat and in Group C in a second, and he won both of them.
Okay, so Belgium and Poland both have one undefeated driver. However, because we had 3 qualifying sessions yesterday, 3 different sets of grid positions today, and our points leader, Lukas Dzierżycki, is due to start 2, 4, 6, 8th in this race. And there's a glance at just some of the huge amount of spectators, family members and friends that are here watching in the Belgian sunshine today. The karts head out onto the grid for the 3rd and final time. These are the kid karts, the lightest of our junior drivers. There are 60 juniors, and they are split in terms of how much the drivers weigh. The lighter ones go in the kids category. The slightly heavier ones, the older ones, go in the junior category. It's done on weight, not age. And here is your starting lineup.
Juraj Mikoš is on pole position for heat number 3. He was second behind Lukas Dzierżycki in heat number 2. Can he hold this momentum and go into the heat 3 with the same speed? Jude Paddlefoot is beside him on the first row.
We have an airplane overhead. Now we're getting word that there's a slight delay. That gives us a brief moment to give you a little bit of information about the kids kart class. So here we go then, your starting lineup. Juraj Mikoš and Jude Paddlefoot on row number 1. On row number 3, Franjo Toncic and Ellis Cox.
Tovic and Lukas Dzierżycki starting only 8 after 2 wins.
Sam Nygren and Viktor Nikolov round out your top 10.
Then comes Max Piatek and Marcel Piaszczak.
Takahiro Nakamura and Alessio Zacchi are next.
Peter Fabry and Roman Curtis in P16.
Vladimir Bruno and Kokoa Sugawara follow them 2 drivers.
Angeliki Nosopoulou and Philippe Volsky.
Behind Volsky, Enzo Biseglia and the French lady Cilia Dussaud.
There is Rosei Takagi in 23rd and Kazuki Yamada, 2 Japanese drivers.
Roger Dionisio and Jade Wilson are up next.
followed by Samuel Erdelt, Mille Karlström, Anastasius Pavlidis, and George Bader.
Again, we had the presentation during the break to
George already received the prize.
And he already received the prize. And a big hello to Guillaume Alvarez, fellow commentator and Belgian born, Belgian bred. And when he dies, he'll be brown bread. No, I'm joking, Guillaume. Guillaume, good to have you on board. Simon Both, hello as well. And yes, we're in Guillaume's home territory here, the home of champions in Genk. And we are about to get the third round of heat races underway. 10 minutes plus 1 lap.
Stewards checking grid positions. Everyone is back on the start. 30 drivers in kids category, split in 2 groups, all juniors, the lightest ones on the grid right now.
And you're about to see, creeping into the shots any moment now, someone going jogging. Get your steps in. That's a good girl. There we go. That's more steps than I've done. I'm tired out just looking at
she's
her.
running from?
She's running away from the go-karts.
Go green. Paddlefoot goes to the right side on the track, but he is slow. There is Mark Beltran already a little bit in front of him. Juraj Mikoš is first going into the first corner, but Paddlefoot behind, and the fight begins.
Yes, indeed. Out of turn number 2 we go. Through the double apex left-hander. I have to say, Guillaume, we're having a waffly good time here in Belgium. See what I did there? Awfully good, waffly good Belgium. No, carry on. Here all week, everybody. Here all week. Here we go. Down the Europaplan straight.
And the first sector, Juraj Mikoš, Jude Paddlefoot, Mark Beltran there through the straight by the tire barriers, which saw already a few drivers crashing in there, one of the fastest parts of the track.
Yes, we've seen in the last round of heat several drivers, Harry Suonen and Jack Williamson, coming to grief. All the kids safely through there, down the infield straight towards Clubhouse Corner, in front of the spectator tribunes. And they go out of Clubhouse into turn number 9. They're 2 and 3 wide. The top 5 drivers trying to break away into turn number 10, and they complete the opening lap with Juraj Mikoš leading Jude Puddlefoot, Timothy Kushneruk, and making a move up into 4th position. That is Lukas Jerzycki already into 4th place at the expense of Mark Beltran. And Jerzycki continues to lead the point standings over Juraj Mikoš. The more positions that Jerzycki picks up, the further he pulls away in the week-long point standings. There's another move from Jerzycki, passing Timothy Kushneruk. For P3, it's only Puddlefoot and Mikoš now ahead of the flying pole.
Great first laps from Lukas Jerzycki, but the last move that could make attention from the judges. That was not clear, but anyway, he is up from the 8 on the grid. He's moving into top 3. Juraj Mikoš and Jude Puddlefoot in front of him. Puddlefoot and Lukas Jerzycki is 1 position up during this lap.
I think he's moved into 2nd position already, closing in on Juraj Mikoš. Don't forget, Mikoš and Jerzycki battled for the win in heat number 2. Now, they cross the line. We've got a whole group of drivers, and I just noticed at the back of this lead group, you can see him just tucked down, tiny little pint-sized driver hiding behind the number 25 cart. I think that's Ellis Cox, who started well and is currently 7th in the point standings. Vladimir Bruno getting a 5-second penalty, but a 2-kart breakaway as we saw in the previous heat. And of course, those 2 drivers, they're in different karts. They're not in the same karts they were before.
Absolutely random.
Random karts, and still they managed to find their way to the front. Ooh,
and he goes inside. Lukas Jerzycki fighting for the lead. They are through button. chicanes, and Łukasz Jerzerski from 8 on the grid on a third lap of the race is leading again.
Picking them up and putting them down. Behind them, the battle for third place. Max Sovic, look for the number 1 plate kart coming down into turn number 9. And has to be said, there's the rest of the field going through now. But yes, Jerzerski, then Mikosh, followed by Kushneruk, Sovic, Nikolov, Puddlefoot, Beltran, Fabry, Curtis, and then Ellis Cox in 10th position. Watch it again. There's Ellis Cox to the inside. You can see black crash helmet just hunkered down behind the number 25 kart of Roman Curtis. So the two British drivers trying to work together, but the top 5 are breaking
And
clear.
Cox going outside in a turn 2. Can he pull the move from the outside line through the double apex corner? And he is up, and it seems like a 7th place.
Yes, and they're closing in on the top 2 drivers side by side for that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9th, 10th position. Ellis Cox, Mark Beltran, Marcel Piasek, and Cilia Dussaud are next in line. Here are your top 5 coming out of the button chicane. You can see the Ukrainian flag on the back of Timothy Kushneruk's race suit. The Ukrainian driver in kart number 14, chasing last year's champion Maximilian Sovic. And Sovic, has to be said, in kart number 1, it's been a stuttering start to his title defence for Sovic.
And Sovic gets penalty, 3 seconds added to his time, and that means he is classified 9th now.
It's looking highly unlikely.
Mikosh fighting with Jerzerski at the end of the starting straight. Jerzerski already defending his position. There is Kushneruk 3rd. They are closing in already. Nikolov and Sovic in 4th and 5th. And now Sovic, even with a 3 seconds penalty, is holding 5th in the rankings.
Yeah, and also a penalty for Jude Puddlefoot. 3 seconds. That drops him out of the top 6. There are your lead 5 karts on circuit. Jerzerski, Mikosh, Kushneruk, Nikolov, and Sovic. Poland, Slovakia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, and Slovakia, the top 5, with Curtis, Fabry, and Cox next in line. Then Piasek, Beltran, Dussaud, Piatek, and Franjo Toncic, with Puddlefoot now classified 14th. Sovic, even there, he is in 3rd place on the road. He is 5th in the standings at the moment, or 5th in the race order. Jerzerski with 93 points is 13 points clear of Juraj Mikosh, and already marking himself out as a favourite to take the Kids Cup honours, although in tomorrow's super heats you have 1.5 times the points that you gain in the heats, and in the final on Saturday it's double points. So it's still all to play for, although Jerzerski is certainly laying down a marker. Closing on them in 3rd place on the track is Sovic.
Yes, but Łukasz has behind him a driver who has less to lose. Mikosh was behind him in a 2nd race, but off the top 3 in a 1st, so he is losing 13 points if he is finishing 2nd. He can try something more than Jerzerski, try to overtake him and get those 2 points back.
Yes, indeed. Now, battling down the Europa Plan straight into the button complex. This is 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Now, some of these drivers have got in-race penalties included in that group. I can see Jude Puddlefoot, and but you've got the number, looking over his shoulder there, the number 20 kart of Peter Fabry. Then the number 9 of Ellis Cox has gone through already. There are the 2 leaders coming out onto the start-finish straight, with Sovic 3rd in line. And behind Sovic, Nikolov and Kushneruk. Sovic is doing a good job of minimising the damage done to this, done to his chances. They're a long way clear of a 3-kart battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's Roman Curtis, Peter Fabry, and Ellis Cox. Then the rest of the field led by Spain's Mark Beltran. He runs in 9th.
And so now difficult situation for Maximilian Sovic. He has 3 seconds penalty. The drivers behind him, Nikolov and Kushtyruk, are closing in. Will he defend his position or let the 2 drivers through so that all 5 leaders can pull away and he can just amortize his 3 seconds penalty?
Yes, I mean, at the moment, the gap between the top 5 and Roman Curtis, so Kushtyruk, and is 5 seconds clear of Roman Curtis. So Sovic in 3rd place on the road. He is only losing 2 places. Oh, Jude Puddlefoot with another penalty. Oh no, that's a so that's a 2nd penalty for Puddlefoot. Not a great start for Jude.
We have 3 penalties for one driver.
Ian Fernandez
and
got 3 in one race.
So Puddlefoot is the way to go.
Yes, Takaharu Nakamura has been given warning, a 10-second penalty as well in the number 22 kart. As Sovic, he's even with his penalty, he's 6 seconds clear of new 6th place driver Ellis Cox.
And something happened to Timofey Kushniruk. He was chasing Sovic together with Nikolov, and now Kushniruk is falling back in 5th position. Still 3rd on the track is Maximilian Sovic with a 3 seconds penalty, so classified 5th, and 2 leaders in front, Jezierski and Mikosh.
Yes, last lap was a 1 minute 18.1 for Kushniruk, who is now not on your screens there because he's fallen back. He's the 5th kart in line there. And I'm just looking at his lap time there. He's also lost a bit of ground through sector number 1, which is unfortunate. Now, this could give Maximilian Sovic a chance to get ahead of Kushniruk, even with his penalty. We'll see as they come across the line. 1 lap to go. Here we go. Now, it is now or never for Juraj Mikosh as they head towards turn number 1.
So 2.4 seconds for Timofey Kushniruk. That means 0.6 of a second for Sovic, and he will be classified 4th if he retains his position during the last lap.
Roman Curtis gets a 5-second penalty as well. That allows Peter Fabry to take 6th position, Mark Beltran 7th, Ellis Cox down to 8th. But here we go, down to the Europa Plan Straight, 4 karts battling for the race lead. One of them, Maximilian Sovic, the 3rd kart in line on your screen, has a penalty, has a 3-second penalty, but that would only put him 5th, and he's trying to close in on, effectively, Timothy Kushniruk, who is a long way behind him on the road, but Sovic to the inside for 2nd on the road. This is going to help Lukas Jasinski, and here comes Viktor Nikolov on the outside of Jerizak into Clubhouse Bend. Sovic drops back to 4th position on the road, and now Juraj saying, think, don't overtake me, and Viktor Nikolov is saying, well, that's exactly what I want to do, and that's exactly what he has done. The run to the line, and it is Bulgaria's Viktor Nikolov who snatches one on the line, a blanket finish, 4 wide. Nikolov, Jerzy, Mikosh, and Timothy Kushniruk effectively beats Maximilian Sovic by 1 second after Sovic's penalty has been applied. Sovic in 5th, Peter Fabry, Mark Beltran, and Ellis Cox, your top 8. Kokoa Sugawara and Marcel Piasek round out your top 10. Roman Curtis, with a 5-second penalty, is 11, ahead of Max Piatek, Kazuki Yamada, Celia Dussaud, and Agaliki Nusapulo. Vladimir Bruno is next, then Alessio Zacci, Franjo Toncic, Roger Dionisio, and Mille Karlstrom. Mille Karlstrom having a decent run. The Swedish team, I've got to say, the Swedish team, the kids from Sweden, Sam Neugren, Mille Karlstrom, Jonathan Söderqvist, some of the nicest, most polite kids that we got here, always just saying hello, how are you? They're always very, very polite, and I have to say that they're a credit to themselves.
There is something to do with their parents, I think.
Yes. Quite literally, their parents have beaten manners into them. I always find that works well. If a child doesn't know, I'm not going to go there. People will not get my sense of humour. But Ryusei Takagi, Jade Wilson, Anastasios Pavlidis, Enzo Biscaglia, then Jude Puddlefoot. Now we get to the penalties. Puddlefoot, Sam Neugren, and Takaharu Nakamura, all with penalties. Samuel Erdelt and George Badar finishes out the field. And George Badar, again, first Lebanese driver to make it into the Saudi World Series finals as a junior.
In the last lap, Juraj Mikoš gets the penalty. 3 seconds added to his time. Now he is fourth in front of Sovic, and Lukas Jezerski still second after Viktor Nikolov, but Timofey Kushniruk moves up to third place.
And that penalty for Juraj Mikoš gives Viktor Nikolov a tie for second place in the unofficial standings. So, the heat points at the end of the kids' heat races. Lukas Jezerski, 91 points. Viktor Nikolov and Peter Fabry, 79 points. Juraj Mikoš has 78. Marcel Piatek on 75. Ellis Cox on 70. Timofey Kushniruk on 64. Mark Beltran on 63. That is your top 8. The super heat on Saturday morning is for 1.5 times the points, and then the final for double points. Here is a look back at some of the highlights of this race, and I can't believe, Gertz, how quickly Lukas was able to get from 8th to the lead. Once he got into the lead, however, he was not able to pull away. It's just virtually impossible in dry weather. The karts are so evenly matched. But Nikolov, a great run out of the final corner, gets the job done and denies a clean sweep for Lukas Jezerski. So it's all down to Simon Delven. Now the Belgian driver, he's the only driver left in this championship who remains undefeated.
Can he pull out the third win of the day? The racing for this day is over for kids category. We are waiting for juniors on the track, but after the heat there will be a driver's parade and opening ceremony in the front of grandstands, so the kids don't go away yet.
Capturer cette sensation? Rien de plus simple avec la caméra casque Cambox. Design ultra discret, adapté à tous les casques. Avec sa vue immersive unique au monde, captez vos émotions de course en toute sécurité. Caméra casque Cambox, the safest immersive memories.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's now time for Junior Cup, the final heat for the 30 heavier junior drivers. Different weight limit. We are still looking for more flags. It's quite disappointing, really. We've only got the Union flag and the Ukrainian flag there. I thought
Someone stole Spanish flag.
someone stole the Spanish flag. The minute I said put your flags out, someone took the Spanish flag away. How rude. Anyway, heat number 3. Well, we've had... Why don't we remind the viewers what happened in heats 1 and 2 in terms of the results?
In junior class, there was Kristaps Tennis took the win in the first race of this day with Fabian Kopp second and Ethan Saunders was third. But in the second race, it was Alexei Mukhin who took the lead. Tennis was only 23rd. Fabian Kopp still managed top 3. Ethan Saunders was out on P5, but Ivan Koptiev joined the leaders in the second race.
So Fabian Kopp is the driver to beat at the moment. He leads the point standings. Kristaps Tennis, was the leader at the end of heat number 1. Had a problem on the opening lap because he didn't qualify well in qualifying session 2 yesterday, and then got involved in a first lap incident where a driver spun in front of him. And looking down there, the Saudi kart officials, we will be on the starting grid very, very soon.
There are stewards already waiting on the grid, drivers in the pit lane waiting for the green light to let them out and let the race begin. The third race for junior class. We will see today masters and women and 4 races for sprint category.
And we wait to get the karts out onto the circuit. And we continue to wait while our partners at Apex Timing will give the all clear. I have to say, looking at the penalties, Gert, as the day has worn on, you can tell that drivers are getting a little bit more desperate, maybe, because the amount of penalties...
Almost 25% of participants of previous race got penalties, and
Yes.
some of them even more than one.
Yeah, and after last year's finals, the Saudi World Series family competitors, they said we would like more officials to clamp down on driving standards.
So here they are.
Here they are, and the penalties are being dished out as follows. Now we are in single file. Well, they've let one half of the grid out first. Let's take you through the starting lineup for Junior Heat 3. Pole position from Belgium, Teo Di Vincenzo. Alongside Teo is Poland's Ziemit Vera.
Then Orestas Burgaila, P3 on the grid, joined by Mariana Fedorchuk on P4.
Latvia's Edgars Lilgabis and Jordan's Malik Firas Mustafa go for row number 3.
Then Kristaps Tennis in a third race is 7th on the grid.
Mario Matas alongside Tennis, that's on row number 4. The top 10 rounded out by USA's Aiden Galway and Igor Polak from Poland.
Then Boris Toltsov in P11, Brian Trevisani.
Oscar Vedlin and our points leader, Fabian Kopp. Actually, no, Fabian Kopp is not our points leader. He's tied for second. We'll get to the points in a minute. Emil Forker and Marcel Kaiser are next.
After Kaiser, there's Luca Corsi and Ethan Saunders starting P18.
Oscar Lambert and Tobias Hanzalik round out your top 20.
And then William van Leersum only 21st. Then Samart Rao, Vincent Kailog, Georgi Shumilov, Ivan Koptiev, Ivan Stilev, Yanis Maurer, Orpheus Tsobanidis, Nathan Kroos, and Alexei Mukhin.
So Alexei Mukhin starts last. There he was, just flashing through your screen. So Mukhin starting last, and yet he leads the point standings. The current points in juniors: Mukhin 56 points. Fabian Kopp and Ethan Saunders have 55 points. Igor Polak 51. William van Leersum 48. Ivan Kopchev 45. Then Luca Corsi on 40 points and Kristaps Tennis on 39. Ziemit Vera has 36 with Oscar Vedlin also on 36. So our pole sitter, Theo Di Vincenzo, not even in the top 10. Alexei Mukin, points leader, starts 30th. Fabian Kopp, second of the points, starts outside the top 10. And Ethan Saunders starts even further back on row number 9. Igor Polak is effectively one of the best placed drivers in the points and on the grid. 4, 6, 8, he starts 10th. We could have a real mix-up in this race. 30 drivers, 10 minutes, plus 1 lap. And the officials walk down the grid. We wait for, on the right-hand side of your screen, race director Manuel Branco with the green flag. Flag in the air. Green flag drops, and we're off and racing. Di Vincenzo tries to get away, but Ziamit Vera on the outside of the front row.
And
just
there comes
goes ahead.
Fedorchuk from P4 to the inside up to third position, but it's Zimovit Vera who takes the lead from starting second, and now Theo Di Vincenzo is second with Vera leading the race.
And they're 3 wide coming through turn number 2, trying to even themselves out. All the points leaders desperately trying to stay out of trouble. They don't want to incur a penalty. Then the blue race suit and the white crash helmet, that's Igor Mukin. And he started at the back. And look at that. He's got a whole sea of karts in front of him. How can he pick his way through this lot? We're 4 wide into the button chicane, and somebody just shaves the barriers. Another driver spinning to the outside, and somebody else going across the grass. There's going to be a lot of movers and shakers in this one.
The driver rejoins the race, letting some of the competitors through, but will the stewards counter some advantage going off the track or not? That we will see later. There are surely some penalties. We will see during this race. Vieira and Vincenzo out on the starting straight after the opening lap of this race. Vieira leading, Vincenzo second, Kristaps Tenis up to third, Orestas Burgaila is fourth, then Falik Firas Mustafa is in P5 in front of Edgars Lilgalvis, Mario Matias seventh, Brian Trevisani, Orpheus Tsobanidis and Boris Toltsov at the end of top 10.
And an absolute disaster for Ethan Saunders, who is only now crossing the start-finish line, and that drops him from a joint second to 10th. What happened? I think Saunders was the driver that spun at the button chicane. We're looking further up, drivers gesticulating madly to each other to try and work together. Ziamit Vera has the lead. We're watching second place driver, is that with the blue race suit and the white crash helmet? But look at Alexei Mukin, well pointed out, from 30th to 12th on the opening lap. We'll wait to try and see where the white crash helmet, blue race suit is. There you go, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then a big gap back to 8th, 9th. And I think that's Igor Mukin in 10th place.
Already chasing 9th position, Vieira and Vincenzo over the finish line once again, chased by Kristaps Tenis. And Kristaps Tenis is first to receive a penalty, 3 seconds added. And now Tenis is classified 7th, but running 3rd on the track. Vieira and De Vincenzo in front of him. Then is Orestas Burgaila and Malik Firas Mustafa moving up to 4th and 3rd.
Theo Di Vincenzo in second place. What is that? Theo Di Vincenzo has taken the lead. I'm just looking at the race number.
Yes, he is in the lead. Vieira is second again, and they are chased on the track by Kristaps Tenis, but he is 7th with 3 seconds penalty.
So that move from Di Vincenzo moves him up into the top 10 in points. Ziamit Vera is 3rd in the point standings at the moment. Kristaps Tenis, you're watching there, 3rd on the road. Kristaps Tenis is 6th in the point standings. Somehow, Alexei Mukin from the back of the grid has actually extended his lead at the top of the point standings, because he is running in 10th, Ethan Saunders is running in 30th, and Fabian Kopp is up into 13th position, is down to 13th position. So Kopp and Saunders have had a dreadful start, and Igor Mukin has just driven through 2/3 of the field.
Kristaps Stennis goes inside of Zimovit Vieira. There is Theo De Vincenzo in front. Tennis goes to second, but he is classified down in 7th because of 3 seconds penalty. Now Kristaps Stennis is going second behind Theo De Vincenzo. Zimovit Vieira is third on the track, but actually still second in the rankings. Then there is Malik Firas Mustafa, fourth on the track and third. Actually.
And more penalties being dished out there. 5 seconds for Ivan Chitlev. 5 seconds for Oscar Lambert. It's looking increasingly unlikely that Oscar Lambert will take a 3rd straight podium finish in this event. But Mukin
and we have
forward.
a new leader. Theo De Vincenzo is down to 4th now. Kristaps Stennis is in front of everyone. Zimovit Vieira following him in a 2nd, and there is a fight for a 3rd place on the track between Malik Firas Mustafa, Orestas Burgailis and Theo De Vincenzo. 5 cars on the track together going into the last corner of this lap. Theo De Vincenzo goes to inside defending his position, but at the exit of the corner he is in the middle of the track and 4 cars following him.
And so Kristaps Stennis, although on track he leads, he's actually 7th in the overall running order. Fabian Kopp 13th in the running order, was the fastest. Oscar Vedlin sets the fastest lap of the race. He has had a penalty as well. Nathan Kreuss in 28th has just moved ahead of Vincent Caillard. Still, Ethan Saunders is right down at the back of the field.
But their Tennis needs 2nd, maybe a little bit more to pull away with his 3 seconds penalty. Zimovit Vieira is chasing him, but there is a big gap between Vieira and De Vincenzo. De Vincenzo has lost now the actual 2nd place to Mario Matias. Matias moves up to 3rd on the track and 2nd in the rankings.
Through turn number 7, the 180-degree corner, down the infield straight. Tennis, Zimovit Vieira tried to signal and say, go on, push away.
Does the Vieira know that Tennis has a penalty?
Well, I mean, there is a big digital screen just past the start-finish straight.
Where we see only the time now, not the result.
But the driver, so a couple of laps ago, maybe Zimovit Vieira spotted that. You'll be surprised how much these karters take in whilst they're driving as we cross the line, while Kristaps Stennis is now moved into P5. So he either wants to keep Zimovit Vieira pushing him or let Zimovit go and then push him and push Vieira. Because the more he pushes and doesn't battle, the further up the order he goes. He's, at the moment, he's 1st on track, 5th with his penalty applied, and 5th in the point standings. Alexei Mukin, after a few storming opening couple of laps, he's kind of stalled out in 7th position. There are your 2 leaders going through the button chicane, and we are waiting to see who follows them through. And there's 2nd, 3rd, or there's 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Igor Mukin, I think, has dropped back to 8th position behind ahead of William van Leersum, but behind Theo De Vincenzo, Kristaps Stennis, Burgaila, Lil Galvis, who is now 3rd. Mario Matias from Portugal is the driver in 2nd place on in the race, 3rd on track. There he goes. He's got a same coloured race suit and crash helmet to Ethan Saunders.
And now we have 2 drivers dived under the steering wheels, trying to get as much speed as possible on the straight. That's Kristaps Stennis and Zimovit Vieira trying to run away from everyone else, and that already helped Kristaps Stennis to get 2 positions. With his 3 seconds penalty. Mario Matias is 3rd on the track, chased by Edgars Lielgalvis, Orestas Burgaila and Theo De Vincenzo.
Further down there, where's Fabian Kopp? The answer is still only 12th, behind Orpheus Sobanidis. Malik Firas Mustafa in the top 10 for Jordan. Tobias Hanzalik, Brian Trevisani, Emil Forker, Aidan Galway, Igor Polak, Luca Corsi, Yanis Maurer, and Oscar Vedlin. They are your top 20. And already we got 7 drivers have been given penalties in this race. Tennis has got 3 seconds. Mustafa has got 3 seconds, but he's still running in 10th place. So Mustafa, let's have a look where he is. In the number 15 kart, he is, I believe, in about 6th place, 7th place on the road. It's impressive for Malik Mustafa. Tolstov is next. Kopp now up to 11th.
Mustafa up to 9th place in front of Tolstov. Fabian Kopp up to 11th, gaining 1 position and 1 point in the rankings. Vieira and Tennis trying to pull away. There is Edgar's Matteo Matias and Edgar's Lil Galvis in front of a few drivers, and Di Vincenzo trying to get back his position. He's too far away, followed by William van Leersum. We have 2 laps to go.
Yes, they'll get the last lap board next time around. Ziamit Vieira just needs to sit, but he chooses not to. He looks to the inside and tries to take the lead on track away from Kristaps Tennis.
It seems like Tennis and Vieira both are unaware of this penalty of 3 seconds.
It does look like that, because the more that Tennis defends and slows himself down, even though on track he's not being overtaken, in the classification he is. The moment he is just holding on to
He
fifth
could
position by
let
7
Vieira
tenths.
go and then follow him, let him run away, but now they are over the finish line and going into the last lap. Vieira is leading. Mario Matias is actually second in the rankings. Leaders are still fighting. Vieira getting in front before the second corner. Now Kristaps Tennis is following him closely, but there is a Mario Matias, Orestas, Burgaila. Tennis is up to 4th. Can they keep the same distance through this lap? And Tennis will get a 4th place in this race. Alexei Mukhin is up to 5th in front of Teo Di Vincenzo.
At the moment, even though Fabian Kopp has just set the new fastest lap of the race, here we go, 3 wide, look at that, up the inside into the button S's. Oh, and Kristaps Tennis shaves the tyre barrier. New leader, Mario Matias, the Portuguese driver, takes the race lead, both on track and in the classifications. This is half a lap from home, and Tennis is trying to defend from Ziamit Vieira. No, and that is also Orestas Burgaila from Lithuania trying to force his way through. Ziamit Vieira looks to the inside. Does he try the crossover? No, he does not. And out of the final corner to take the checkered flag, Portugal have a victory. Mario Matias. It's Portugal, Lithuania with Orestas Burgaila, and Poland, Ziamit Vieira. Now, with penalties applied, this is how damaging that battle for Kristaps Tennis was, because he was running 5th after his penalty.
At
He
the start of
finishes
last
8th.
lap, he was
Yes.
classified 4th, and now it's down to 8th.
Yes, 8th behind, critically, extending his advantage in points. Alexei Mukhin from 30th to 5th. 6th was Boris Tolstov, then Teo Di Vincenzo, Malik Firas Mustafa, and Fabian Kopp. Oh, Kristaps Tennis has been given another penalty. That drops him down to 12th place, and it moves Kopp to 9th, so that actually helps. Well, it's a bit of a hindrance, as Fabian Kopp actually gains a place there with that last move, a penalty for Tennis, and Kopp 9th, Edgar Lilgalvis 10th, and Aidan Galway Tennis 11th, Sobanidis, Hanzalik, Polak, Forker, Trevisani, Maurer, Lambert, and Samath Rao, your top 20. Unofficially, Ethan Saunders managed to gain 2 places at the end of that race, and that means he is now 9th in points. It's Mukhin with 82 points. Kopp with 77. Van Leersum with 75. Polak with 67. Vera and Burgaila on 64. Mario Matisse, that win puts him to 61 points. Then Tennis and Ethan Saunders both on 58. Let's have a look back at this one. Now you can see Igor Bukin is the back of the field. Here's two wheels on the grass. I think that's probably one of the penalties for Kristaps Tennis, getting 2 wheels out of the circuit and gaining a position. Great battling as always. Look at the drivers, they're looking every which way but straight ahead. That's 4 wide. And they somehow all get round clearly. Great move up on the curb there. That is the number 11 kart. I think that's Igor Polak, I believe. Oh, that's Ethan Saunders spinning to the outside of the circuit there. More grass tracking. Autocross is one of your specialities. I think some of these drivers might need a second career. But Tennis at one point was there. Now Mukin looking over his shoulder, trying to go around the outside if we can. But at the front there with a white crash helmet, making a move. That's Teo DiVincenzo, I believe. DiVincenzo eventually dropped back. There he goes past Siamit Vera. So the number 22 kart of DiVincenzo led initially and led mid-distance, but eventually fades to 7th. Now, where did DiVincenzo lose all his time, I wonder? Not there. He's dropping to 4th. Well, maybe he wasn't an incident. Maybe it was just a case of getting overtaken because his pace drops, and there goes another move on DiVincenzo and losing a place there. So, that is the move. Now, that's Siamit Vera. 3 wide. But there, what a move. Right by there, 3 wide. Oh, and that was Tennis into the barriers. I don't know about tennis, but it certainly wasn't cricket. But it's Masters. Up next, this is the 40-plus-year-old category. So, Masters Cup on the rolling lap. We will very, very quickly run through the front runners. Thomas Bouchard and Gustavo Martins on row number 1. Karim El Guelta and Mikhail Ubermulin on row 2. Olivier Bruno and Aurélien Tarisson on row 3. Philippe Deleuze, Jérôme Houet, Olivier Laurencon and Carlos Andre Augusto. That's your top 10. Very quickly, Gertz, run us through the top 3 finishers in each of the first 2
Ubermulin in a 4th place on the grid for this race is the only one from the leaders of the start of this race who was in top 3 in the morning or in the second heat. So Olivier Laurenson took the win in the first race and now he is only 9th. Joël Fauré was 2nd and he is even further back in 13. Ubermulin was 3rd and is starting 4th. There was Geoffrey Galichet who won the 2nd race and is starting 12th, with Ubermulin again between the leaders in the 2nd race, and Stefano Baraldi was 3rd, but also Baraldi is far away in this race.
Yes, indeed. Mikhail Ubermulin leads the point standings with 57 points. Geoffrey Galichet on 56 points is second. Joel Fauré is third on 51 in a tie with Stefano Lelli, the Italian driver. Then Olivier Laurencon and on 49 points, Stefan
We go green, the racing begins. Burchard on the inside, Martens from the outside. They are going into the first corner. There is Guelta and Ubermühlin fighting in a second row. Guelta goes in front, Ubermühlin from the inside to the second corner. Burchard holds the lead and now he's running away.
Yes, indeed, out of turn number 2 towards turn number 3. Side by side for third place. And the lead duo, Thomas Burchard and Gustavo Martins, I think, although Karim El Guelta has made a very good start, so has Olivier Bruno, all closing in as they pile through the button chicane. 3 wide over the curb. Oh, and there's an incident there. The one driver just getting up over the curb there, and the car understeering across the track into a fellow rival who loses an awful lot of positions. I'm trying to get a number check. I think it was the number 13 kart of Olivier Laurenton who was over the curbs, and that has dropped them all back, but it's allowed the top 2 to break away, and we're coming out of the final corner. There we go, across the start-finish line. Leading the way, Thomas Burchard from the United States and Karim El Guelta.
The very poor start from Gustavo Zimmermann Martens. He is 16th after the first lap. Karim El Guelta second, followed by Olivier Bruno in a third, and Philippe Denoz is a fourth. Michael Ubermühlin is down to 5th after first lap, but Geoffrey Galichet is up to 6th in front of Aurélien Derisson. Then Joël Fauré, Olivier Laurenton and Stefano Lelli at the end of top 10.
Thomas Burchard, American, now living and working in the Czech Republic, represents the Kart Planet circuit. Karim El Guelta in kart number 17. He is from the Karting du Laquais Centre. The Frenchman closing in on Burchard is doing his best he can. These are the over 40s. The 2 drivers are clear. Burchard in the blue race suit, and then in the red race suit, Karim El Guelta. Olivier Bruno leads the next pack of kart with Philippe Deneuze and Michael Ubermühlin. Ubermühlin managing to hold on to his points lead at the moment, only by 2 though over Geoffrey Galichet, and Galichet is quite well positioned in 6th place, with Thomas Burchard third in points, trying to pull away as Stefano Lelli. The chief Forza General Lelli is out there. Now, a question. Adrian de Donker asking, is this junior or senior, please? This is Masters.
That's more like
Dodonka.
senior, less like junior.
Senior. 40 plus, Adrian de Donker.
And Thomas Burchard is pulling away. Karim El Guelta still second, but he was very close after the first lap. He used the slipstream from Thomas Burchard, but 1 lap more, and Burchard is more than 1 second in front. There is 4 drivers battling for third place. Deneuze, Bruno, Ubermühlin and Galichet, and also Ubermühlin and Galichet fighting for the lead in overall standings.
As we look now towards the clubhouse bend, they come in front of the spectator tribune. 4 karts battling on your screen. That's not the leaders. That is the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th place battle. Here, further back, side by side, that is for 10th, 11th and 12th. That is, Fauré, Laurenton, De Regon, De Raison and Lelli. Mario Volpe gets another 3-second penalty for his
Bruno
trouble.
goes inside of the news. They are fighting for third place on the track at the exit of the first corner. Bruno is in front. The news has he lost his third place. There is also Ubermühlin and Galichet fighting each other, not only on the track but also in the standings.
Yes, Galichet travelling very quickly indeed. 1 minute 13.679 for Galichet.
And Galichet goes through in the 4th corner just before the Europaplan straight.
So Adrian de Donker is a fellow SWS competitor who has raced with Michael Ubermühlin. Well, Adrian, I would get back to the kart track and work on beating your rival, because if you beat your rival, obviously Ubermühlin showing that he is a force to be reckoned with, not just in his local races, SWS races, but on a global stage as well. He is trying to battle his way past Olivier Bruno and Philippe Denous. Thomas Burchard, meanwhile, has got a 1.2 second advantage over Karim El Guelta.
There is Burchard over the finish line, almost 5 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Guelta second, Geoffrey Galichet is up to third place. Ubermoulin is still fifth with Olivier Bruno in fourth, and that moves Geoffrey Galichet. He is in front of Ubermoulin by 1 point if he manages to finish in this position. So Galichet third, Bruno fourth, Ubermoulin fifth, then Denous, Fauré, Laurenson, Duragon and Guesan at the end of top 10.
What Thomas Burchard is wishing for, he is hoping for someone like Philippe Denous and Joel Fauré, who run 6th and 7th, to join in catch and pass Ubermoulin. And if Olivier Bruno...
And even better if Galichet.
Yes, and Olivier Bruno could also get past Galichet, that would shrink their advantage over Burchard and Fauré in the standings. At the moment, though, it shows Galichet showing no signs of opening the door and allowing Olivier Bruno to even cast a small peek at
Instead of that, Galichet is closing on Guelta. There was a more than a second advantage for Guelta. Burchard is pulling away 2.6, almost half a second each lap. Burchard driving alone without slipstream. He is just pulling away, clocking fastest laps lap after lap. There is Galichet, who set a new lap record in a previous lap, and that was enough to catch Karim El Guelta. Guelta is in front. Galichet trying to go inside in a fourth corner. And at the exit of the straight, Galichet is up to second, and that moves him 2 points in front of everyone else in overall standings.
Yeah, that move doubled Galichet's points lead from 1 to 2.
So 100% advantage.
Yeah, that was not a bad return for one passing move, Kurtz, I gotta say. And now, can El Guelta fight back? Bruno is there as well in fourth position. Ubermoulin is at the back of this 4-kart pack. So this is second, third, fourth, and fifth on your screens. Then a gap back to the sixth place driver, Philippe Denous, and another big gap back to Fauré, Laurencon, Durajon, Nguessan, Derison, Mekte, Boissieri, Baraldi, Betuze, Bazengi, Tovan, Kuzrok, Lely, Martins, Batrishan, then Fidosiv, Augusto, Uwe, Makinen, Marchi, Ibarra, Taika, and Jonathan C. Jeffrey rounds out the field.
And so long we have seen such a fights with the 4 or 5 cars on the track. Now there goes Geoffrey Galichet, Karim El Guelta, Olivier Bruno and Michael Ubermoulin. We are coming to the last laps of this race, and such packs of drivers have changed their positions so dramatically, even half of the lap of the race. So we will see how this will pan out. Now Ubermoulin is last in this group. There are 4 French drivers, Galichet, Guelta, Bruno and Ubermoulin, fighting for second till fifth.
Yes, indeed, down towards Clubhouse Corner. And Burchard extending his advantage to nearly 3 seconds. I mean, that's a time penalty's worth of gap over the chasing pack. They crossed the line behind him. Now there goes Burchard. In second place, the number 6 kart of Galichet.
And Bruno goes to Guelta. They are fighting for a third. Bruno is through and in front of Guelta. Bruno moves third. Ubermoulin is still fifth and watching this from the best seat available.
Yes, indeed. Now, Mario Volpe has got his second penalty flag of the race. That's a 3 seconds and a 5 second for Volpe. So he is down in 30th and last position. Gustavo Zimmerman Martins and the General Stefano Lely have also been given penalties as well.
So Ubermulin still chasing the pack. Now it's Karim El Guelta in front of him in fourth position. Can Ubermulin do something to reduce Geoffrey Galichet's lead in the overall standings? Burchard is in front, almost 3 seconds away from everyone. Geoffrey Galichet has done anything he could. There is too big of a gap between him and Burchard, so Galichet can only try to hold his second position in this race. We have 1 lap to go in the last seconds of the timing. Thomas Burchard goes over the finish line and into the last lap.
Yes, indeed. 5-second penalty goes out to Stefan Bossieri in kart number 10. On your screens, this is second, third, fourth, and fifth. The black race suit, black helmet is Geoffrey Galichet.
And goes inside Ubermulin. He overtakes Karim El Guelta. Now he is up to fourth position, but Guelta trying to get this place back, diving inside at the end of the straight, unsuccessful. So 1 position got by Michael Ubermulin. Now he's fourth. Bruno is third. Galichet is second. Burchard coming to win this race. Last lap of Masters heat here in Genk, Belgium. Burchard closing in the last sector. Galichet is second, almost 3 seconds away, but there is Olivier Bruno and also Michael Ubermulin. They are going into the last corner. Galichet in front, and Bruno and Ubermulin chasing him. A little bit further back is Karim El Guelta, and there is checkered flag for Thomas Burchard. USA takes the win, and then 4 Frenchmen: Galichet, Bruno, Ubermulin, and El Guelta.
Well, I suppose the French gave the Americans the Statue of Liberty as a present. They allowed the Americans to win that one as well. So
Two great presents.
Burchard holds off the French Foreign Legion, Galichet, Bruno, Ubermulin, and El Guelta. And further back there, Olivier Laurenton, who holds on to fourth place in the point standings.
But
we'll see if there are any other changes there. On the live chat, it's great you've got people who are actually racing here, watching us on Facebook. Mitch Chimes, one of our Aussie drivers. Mitch, stop watching and commenting on Facebook. Get to the grid. Your last race is up next. It's been super fun so far. The Australians always make it a fun event. This year, they have the brightest, most colourful team outfits of all, including the obligatory kangaroo with a pair of boxing gloves on.
So now in the Masters category we have only 1 point between the leaders after 3 races held today. Geoffrey Galichet is leading with 85 points and only 1 point less for Michael Ubermulin. That overtaking maneuver in the last lap was decisive for Ubermulin. Now he is second and losing only 1 point to the leader with 84, then 76 and 75 for Thomas Burchard and Olivier Laurenton.
I mean, yes, it's we mentioned it so many times that it's all about consistency, the points you build up. But look at this action there. I think that was Olivier Laurenton in the yellow and green race suit as we head round. But this was a good battle. Now, Burchard has already gone. This is further back. There's the number 2 kart. That's Joel Faure. And Joel Faure, who is currently 5th in the point standings, ended up 8th overall. But what we'll do now is that you will leave you, the viewers, to watch the rest of this replay, and then it will be the ladies up next.
And next on the grid will be women class, and then 4 races for sprint category. We are almost halfway through the third heat of this day here in Karting Genk, in home of champions at Saudi World Series International Finals. The ladies are getting ready for their third start of this day. Louise Brown took the win in her first race in a woman category. Debbie Wolves was second and Sarai Garcia third, but that was in the morning. And a different situation a few hours later. Vanessa Lerieux was first, Louise Brown between the leaders again, but now in a second place, and Debbie Wolves second in the morning, third later, and now they are lining on the grid once again for the third heat. So we will see Debbie Wolves and Louise Brown starting from the front row. They have very good results in the first 2 races, so it will be decisive and at the third heat of the day. Then Carla Fade and Sarai Garcia also close to the front on a second row on the grid. Then Nicole Protivova and Marjolaine Martins in 6th, Aleona Palchik and A.B. Sanders in 8th, then Elisabetta Schulze in P9 with Lisa Fischer in P10, then 6th row on the grid, Lely Zepenio and Rossana Marziano, and everyone else will be on the track really soon. And the next race only in a few moments. Women category taking their seats in carts and ready to go.
Yes, and you will notice a different different driver on pole position. A very familiar driver on the outside of row number 1, Debbie Wolfs on the inside row, pole position for driver number 2. Louise Brown is on the outside of row number 1.
There is Carla Fade and Sarai Garcia behind them. Fade starting 3rd and Garcia 4th.
Yes, in the first race, tell us, Louise Brown beat Debbie Wolf and Sarai Garcia in race number 1, but in race number 2 it was a different story.
It was Vanessa Lariou who took the win, but Louise Brown was still there. She finished second, so very good points for both two races for Louise Brown and Debbie Wolves, second in the morning and third in the second heat.
Now, a big welcome into the Facebook chat to Caleb Vieska, an aspiring great commentator from the US of A. He'll be cheering for, I don't know, Caleb, are you cheering for the Mexicans or the Americans? Only joking, mate. This is the Rental Kart World Championships, and we've got a bunch of Americans. No female representation from the US of A. We have got 30 women out onto the grid. Let's give you a rundown of the starting lineup. Debbie Wolfs from the Netherlands and Louise Brown from Belgium on row number 1.
Then Carla Fade and Sarai Garcia from second row on the grid.
Nicole Protivova and Marjolaine Martin go from row number 3.
Followed by Aliona Palchik and A.B. Sanders in P8.
Abby Sanders, the reigning and defending champion from the United Kingdom. Elizabeth Schulz from Latvia and Lisa Fischer from Germany are next up.
There, Lali Zepenio and Rosanna Marciano, sixth row on the grid.
Geneva Negrini and Alyona Nikolaeva are next up.
There, Lea Tajnikar and Carol Bourgeois.
Julia Milk and Margot Beal go from the next row.
Vanessa Lario and Lena Boleto from P20 going to formation lap.
So Vanessa Lario will have to try and make it 2 wins out of 3 from row 10 on the grid. Then it's Melina Koenig from Germany and Audrey Vinals from France.
Angelika Lemko from Ukraine. Behind her, Laurence Benoit.
Behind Benoist, we have Yves Telot, Heloise Joubert, and the final few drivers from Canada, Caroline Leboutil, from Croatia, Klara Materazza, from Slovakia, Emma Klikakova, and from Moldova, Evelina Manciu. Beautiful blue skies here at Karting Genk in Belgium. This, of course, circuit hosted the 2018 World Karting Championships. And looking at the karts now, I've been coming here a long time, but this very part of the track you're looking at on your screens now, the short shoot, back in 2008 with the BRDC Stars of Tomorrow Championship. It was raining and there was an accident in the cadet race and one kart flipped, trapping its driver underneath the kart. Another driver stopped and got out of his kart to help lift the kart. Don't forget, these are cadets aged 8, 9, 10 years old. The driver who stopped his kart to help was called Sam Cassidy. The driver trapped underneath his kart, George Russell.
So that's how important is to make first impression.
Yes. George on his head, and Sam Cassidy, he'll always be remembered the driver. He sacrificed his own race to help a future Formula One race winner out of his kart after being trapped underneath it. A long time ago, back when I actually had a hairline and when I wore a couple of trouser sizes smaller, but here we are waiting for the start of 10 minutes plus 1 lap.
Louise Brown, Debbie Wolves and all the leaders from the previous races are now lining up on the grid. Green flag, Wolves on the inside, Brown from the outside. There is Fade on third now, Sarai Garcia fourth, and Louise Brown from the outside going very wide through the first corner. It's Fade and Wolves fighting for the lead.
Debbie Wolfs has the lead in kart number 2. Don't forget the point standings. It's Brown with 62 points, Wolfs with 58, Sarai Garcia with 55, and Larissa.
And
Vanessa
Brown is
Larry with
outside
50.
in the fourth corner. She is pushed wide and now down to fourth place.
We look at, there was a spinner a little bit further back in the pack, trying to see who that may have been. I think it might have been Vanessa Lariu, who went for a spin and has dropped to the back of the field.
And
Indeed,
problems for Louise Brown. She is now about 10th place. She ran wide. She was pushed wide entering the bottom chicane, and now she's very far down the order.
Yes, well, I think what their rivals are not, they know how strong Louise Brown is. There she goes in the turquoise and pink race suit. They think, okay, we've got to try and get Louise as far back as possible to pick up as many points as we can. Debbie Wolfs, the door is open and Wolfs is on the loose as she takes the lead at the end of lap number 1. Carla Fadey from France in P2, and then Protivova and Garcia, Palchuk, Negrini and Brown in 7th place.
She is now up to 6th already after the first corner on the second lap. Debbie Wolfs is leading, Carla Fadey in 2nd, Protivova up to 3rd, Louise Brown trying to get their positions back. Already 1 done and 5 to go.
Yes, indeed. There is Brown. Now, they passed. Did I just see a cart parked at the side of the circuit? No, Vanessa Lariu right at the back of the field. So that has already dropped Vanessa down to 10th place in points. Debbie Wolfs at the moment has 89 points and leads the standings by 3 over Louise Brown, although Wolfs can't get any higher than 89 points because she's leading. So their side-by-side battle, that looked like it was Palchuk and Sarai Garcia getting involved. And, of course, every position that Brown makes up, that will bring her a point closer to Debbie Wolfs.
She's already 5th. One more position got back during this lap and trying to go for 4th with Sarai Garcia. Garcia is outside, Louise Brown through the inside, up to 3rd now, but she is on the outside of the 2nd corner. She's pushed wide again and losing positions again. Brown is back to 5th, no, back to 6th position again.
While we're watching on our screens the top 2, Debbie Wolfs unaware that her main rival, Louise Brown, is now there. She goes, Brown, back to the inside. The rest of the field plunge through turn number 4, down past the Europa Plan straight. The Europa Plan, you can see the highway behind the circuit, through the Button chicane, named after Jensen Button, who spent many years driving for the GKS Lemons team, the Lemons family, who own this circuit. Wolf leads, Fadey 2nd, a big gap back to the 3rd place battle, and Brown once again is falling away, looking to see where Abby Sanders is, P10 for the reigning champion.
And Louise Brown back to 6th position after a unfortunate overtaking maneuver in the first corners. Wolfs is leading, Fadey is 2nd, they're over finish line with only 900 separating them in the front of the field. Protivova is 3rd, Sarai Garcia 4th, Palchuk up to 5th, and Louise Brown down again to 6th position. She has to defend her 6th position now. There are a lot of drivers behind. Brown goes 5th through the next corner. There are 4 drivers left in front of her: Wolfs, Fadey, Protivova and Garcia.
Here we go then, down the back straight, down the Europa Plan straight. We have Wolfs and Fadey. Don't forget that all the drivers need to stay back. The drivers' parade will commence at the end of this. And we've got a battle for the lead on circuit. Wolfs defending from Carla Fadey. Fadey, let's not forget, 3rd last year, 3rd 2 years ago. Reminds you of that song, Fadey, Fadey, for what la dine de... No, that was a rave song from the 90s. I do apologise. Here we go. And Louise Brown will wait to see this second pack of cars. Brown to the inside. That puts Louise Brown back into P4 behind Protivova and ahead of... Well, it's in front of Protivova behind Sarai Garcia. Louise Brown, with that move, moves into a tie with Debbie Wolfs at the head of the standings.
There is nothing more Debbie Wolfs can do. She is already leading and getting maximum points for this race. But Louise Brown from 6th back up to 4th, then back again to 6th position, and now she is 4th again, chasing Sarai Garcia. The leaders are very far away. There are 4 seconds between 2nd and 3rd place. So 3rd now seems like the maximum Louise Brown can do in this race.
Yes, but 3rd place would be enough to give Brown a share of the lead. No, well, 4.
And
no.
she goes inside. Pushes a little bit outside Sarai Garcia, and Louise Brown is up to 3rd.
You can see now, here we go. So Brown, that move should put her back to the top of the point standings. This is the final heat. You get 1.5 times the points in Saturday's super heat and double points in Saturday's final. The sprint racers get tomorrow off. Tomorrow is exclusively the 12-hour endurance race. 48 teams, 4 drivers in each team. We'll be bringing you every moment of that live. Now, there goes Louise Brown, the new championship, the new points leader in P3, but she has got a whole cluster of ladies sitting on her rear bumper. As we move out of turn number 2, side by side, further back, that would be Negrini, Protivova, Sanders and Zapeno.
The ladies still fighting. We have 3 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Wolfs and Fade in the front. Fade just set the fastest time in the first sector, but she is unable to make a move. Actually, we didn't saw her trying to overtake. They are just running away from the trouble behind.
Yes, indeed. And look at the gap that Wolfs and Fade have opened at 1 minute 14.04 for Debbie Wolfs. Fade in second.
Is she preparing for a move in the last lap?
I would imagine that Carla Fade is sitting there, and I've got to be very careful what I say here. She's studying the rear end of Wolf's go-kart.
And going inside! And in front she goes. Carla Fade takes the lead now. Debbie Wolfs is second, and that shaves off 2 points of Debbie Wolfs' account.
Yes, and that will drop Wolves down by another 2 points. Sarai Garcia remains 3rd in the championship, 4th on the road. Louise Brown, meanwhile, you can see just off our camera, here are the 2 leaders on the Europa Plan straight. Now, what can Debbie Wolfs do about the new race leader Carla Fade? And nothing through the button S's, but Brown in 3rd position is pulling away from Sarai Garcia, with Palchik, Protivova, Negrini, Zapeno, Sanders, Tajnika, Bolitot and Milk rounding out the top 12. Then it's Marciano, Martins, Nikolaeva, Sulsa, then Fischer, Joubert, Lemko, Biel, Tello, Vinals, Madirazza, Manchiu, Lareu. So Vanessa Lareu, she went to last on the opening lap. She's back to 25th. And I'm just looking.
And she was first in a second race, and now so far away.
Out of the top 10 in points as well.
Louise Brown in 3rd, pulling away, but it seems like 3rd place is maximum she can get in this race. It's enough for a leading position by 3 points. Debbie Wolf down to 2nd, but she can pull a move later. We have less than 1 minute to go, plus 1 lap, and Debbie Wolf is close enough to try and overtake any moment. Carla Fade in front of her.
Yes, and you can see Wolves now beginning to take slightly different lines through turn number 4, down the Europa Plan straight, into the button chicane, and out into through the button chicane, which is turn 6, a right-hander, then another right-hander. Then they set themselves up for that 180-degree left at turn number 7, down directly heading towards the huge spectator tribunes here at Karting Genk, into Clubhouse Bend, over the curbs on the exit, around directly in front of our commentary position to towards turn number 10. The circuit bears left, early apex, get the kart turned in, let it float out of the corner, ignore turn 11, it's a flat out kink. Last lap, board goes out, 1 lap to go. Fade versus Wolf. Brown in 3rd will not catch them. What will Debbie Wolf do? Fade defends into turn number 1.
Fade knows it's last lap. She goes defensive in the first corner. Debbie Wolf is right on her bumper, and they are going into the fourth corner of this lap, the final lap of the race. Out on the Europan straight, Cadet is leading, Wolf second. They're approaching next corner, great braking point and overtaking opportunity into the button chicane. Vade in front, Wolves following closely and trying to find her opportunity during last half of a lap. 180 degrees, and at the exit of the corner, Wolves is almost side by side. No, she goes back behind Carla Fade. Just 4 corners till the finish line. The checkered flag already waiting. Fade in front, Wolves following closely. 2 corners till the end of this race. From the inside goes Fade defending her position. Debbie Wolves right behind. They are out on the straight. Checkered flag, and it's Carla Fade who takes them in. Debbie Wolves is second. Louise Brown up to third place after an unfortunate start. Aliona Palchik is fourth. Then Sarai Garcia in P5 in front of Nicole Protivova. A.B. Sanders is seventh, and then Lele Zepenio, Lena Boleto and Lea Tainikar.
And a very sportswoman-like shake of the hands there between Carla Fade and Debbie Wolves. British Gearbox third in the British Gearbox Championship. Tom Adams, a very experienced KZ racer, is watching. Tom's dad, Chris, finished third in the women's event 3 years ago.
Really?
No, but it sounds funny. But I know Tom will tell Chris that, Tom didn't realise that Chris had that operation that he'd always been saving up for. That's why Tom's not racing in the British Championship this year. Here we go. So, Fade and Wolfs and Brown and Palchik and Garcia, your top 5. The point standings at the end of the third and final women's heat. Brown 90 points, Wolfs 87, Sarai Garcia 81, Fade on 80, 10 points separating the top 4. 1.5 times the points available in the superheat, double points available in the final. The driver with the most points at the end of Saturday's racing. Today's only Thursday, and we got a day off tomorrow. We don't have a day off tomorrow, Gertz. We have a small matter. Let's have a look at the replay now. So, Debbie Wolves holding on to pole position. Louise Brown, she was, let's have a look. She's second there, but I think, on a spin at the back of the pack, that's the number 21 cart. That was Vanessa Lariu. And this is where the rivals, Louise Brown's rivals, decided to dispatch the number 10 cart back to 7th place. Fear not, though, Louise Brown fans. She came back charging through
to 4th and then fell back to 6th again.
Yes,
and then came back again.
It was certainly a busy race for Louise Brown. And battling up at the front, there is the number 18 cart. That is Aliona Palchuk, who eventually finished 4th. But Louise Brown certainly had her hands full in this one. The 2 leaders clear. Carla Fade to the inside of Debbie Wolfs. Wolves didn't really defend, but then in the last lap, here's the move going into turn 1, a textbook turn 1 manoeuvre for the French lady Carla Fade, who then had to defend a little bit. Wolves, we thought here, might get the run. She was side by side down the back straight, and it wasn't to be, and the checkered flag goes out. We will see the ladies, the women on Saturday. Obviously, we'll see them at the parade tonight. That's not just the parade of women, that's just the driver's parade. You have to say, stop. I know what you were thinking online. Behave yourselves.
But today, we still have 4 races left.
The sprint club, the small matter of the 97 drivers who entered the sprint category. They have 1 heat race to go each, and the only undefeated driver left in the entire championship goes, I'm just trying to see, where does Simon Delven go? He goes in this next race, ladies and gentlemen. The problem is that he only starts 21st. We'll see you in a little bit.
cette sensation? Rien de plus simple avec la caméra casque Cambox. Design ultra discret, adapté à tous les casques. Avec sa vue immersive unique au monde, captez vos émotions de course en toute sécurité. Caméra casque Cambox, the safest immersive memories.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we reach 5:40 p.m. local time here in Belgium. 4 races to go. It's time for Sprint Cup. This is Heat 3, Group A, 24 drivers. And as I've got the voice of Latvian motorsport, if you are familiar with watching Formula One in Latvia, you'll be very familiar with Gert's Team Rots, and we've got
Henry.
We have got one of your countrymen on pole position. Take us through the starting lineup.
Christopher Stone, pole position for this race, third heat of the day. Makoto Kubo from Japan is alongside him in the front row.
Etienne Huytens from Belgium and Remy Loth from France start from row number 2.
On the third row on the grid, Fabio Picado and Amaro Maduro.
Aruba, once again, stand up and cheer. Amaro Maduro. I spoke to Amaro and he just said, look, I love the rain. I love this. It's fantastic. He starts on row number 3. Then it is Anthony Malvesin and Trent Maroney.
Ian Fernandez and Enzo Jiracek at the end of top 10.
Ian Fernandez holding the record for the most penalties dished out in a single race with 3 earlier on.
So he is where to go.
He's winning something. Then it is Jiracek, Remy Stalin.
Then Marudov and Yamaguchi, Kanalovic and Hernandez.
Behind Hernandez, Riccardo Lopez Pires and Massimo Mattioli from Italy.
Then Hans Fleury, Marco Rosic, Ahmed Al-Hamadi and Simon Delven.
Can Delven go from 21st to maintain his unbeaten record? He'll have to get past a lot of drivers behind him. Vincent Hines, Adrian Ionesco and Eduardo Favila from Brazil. We have got one more chance to keep one driver undefeated. We've seen drivers. We saw Dwight Edwards Jr. from the United States go from 30th to 10th. We've seen Igor Mukin go from 30th to 4th. We've seen someone, Adam Ben-Haj, go from 29th to 2nd. So really, Simon Delven, he's not got much to do. Only 20 drivers to overtake.
Chances are slim, but not impossible.
not impossible. As we haven't got the live heat points here at the moment for the seniors. We will get those to you, at the end of the day, but we can't give you the championship standings as things are. So Latvia, Japan, Belgium, France, Aruba, the United Kingdom, Spain, Bulgaria, Hungary, Mexico. That's for Caleb Yaska there. Only joking, mate. Serbia, the United Arab Emirates, Belgium, Germany, and Brazil, all represented in this race.
And all of them back on the grid after formation lap. We started with a standing start because of rain at the morning, and now we are going through the standing start. That's a quite hard start for clutches of Sorry, rental cards. Christopher Staune from the pole position. Makoto Kubo on the outside. There is Etienne Hutens starting great from the third, holding third, and Makoto Kubo behind Staune in a second position through the first corner. The leaders retain their positions. There is fight for third behind Kubo. Hutens, Lot, and Picado going through the second corner side by side.
Indeed, and out towards turn number 4, hand signal there from the race leader. Towner sort of saying, okay, let's go. We're clear at the front. They're 3 wide going into turn number 4.
And we can see, as you told, the Japanese driver are leaning back, and Towner is leaning to the front behind the steering wheel.
That is that's the famous, the traditional sort of Japan lean back. It's the knee tuck maneuver. Everyone else sort of hunches down behind the NASA panel. The Japanese drivers, they sort of lay back in the seat, lift their knees up to get a bit more weight over the rear axle.
And creating a wing.
And creating almost like a wing. It's like a human DRS. There we go. It's not been too bad. It's been working quite well.
And it's working great. They are pulling away, both of them.
Yes, indeed. Now we'll have a look as they come down the start-finish straight. We've got a camera opposite them. Let's have a little look as we head down the start-finish straight. And you can see, there he goes, leaning back, and turning round is Christoph Sauner. And you can see the knees up there from the Japanese, and then gets the braking zone, moves himself back into a traditional driving position.
There goes fight for third, fourth, fifth positions. Picado now is third. Remy Lord behind him. Remy Stelin fifth in front of Etienne Hutens. Then Anthony Malvesin in seventh. Hirofumi Yamaguchi up to 8th place. Ian Fernandez is 9th, and Trent Moroni is 10th. But Simon Dilwen is still 21st.
Amaury Maduro, the Aruban driver, has faded to 13th, but still, that would still be the best ever performance. And, that's going to hurt into the tyre barriers at the exit of the Button chicane. That's the third victim that those barriers have claimed, and I'm having a look to see who that might have been. It was a white crash helmet, white race suit. I think
Etienne
that could
Hutens.
be Etienne Hutens. You're right there. Looking up there.
And also Ian Fernandez is somewhere down the order.
Fernandez in the 87. Let's have a little look. Driver is up and out of his car. Now, who's this coming through with the Saudi race suit on? I think I think it might be Fernandez. So it was Ian Fernandez in all white who crashed into the barriers. Etienne Hutens is coming across the line now. So Fernandez is back in the race. Well, the good news is for Ian Fernandez, he can't get a penalty in this race because there's no kart within about 500 meters of him.
You never know. He can get the track limits or something else. Christopher Staune and Makoto Kubo still leading the race, but Staune after the first lap pulled away just a little bit, and almost 1 second was the gap. Now there is only 3/10 between them. Makoto Kubo is very close. They are fighting for the lead, and there is Stalin, Picado, and Loth in a third, fourth, and fifth positions, and 5 leading drivers coming closer and closer. Hirofumi Yamaguchi is in lonely 6th place, and then behind him is Mattioli, Al-Hamadi, Malvesin, Flori, Jiracek, and Favila down to the 12th position. So up to 18, Simon Dilwen, winner of first 2 races. Christopher Staune in front of Makoto Kubo. 6 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Fight for 4th position in the first corner. Staune leading, Kubo second, Stelin third. Behind him, Picado and Loth. The next lap has started. Makoto Kubo very close behind Christopher Staune going into fourth corner and before the long straight. Out on the straight, Kubo diving down, getting slipstream from Christopher Staune. Staune in the lead at the breaking point. Kubo stays behind him and does not try to overtake yet. There is Remy Stelin joined the leaders. Now there are 3 cars and it's a worse situation for Makoto Kubo. He had a distance behind him. Now he has also to check where is Remy Stelin, and Stelin goes inside in front of Clubhouse fighting with Makoto Kubo. That leaves Christopher Staune alone in the lead. Kubo has to defend from Remy Stelin and is falling a little bit back, and there comes Picado and Loth. Stelin, Picado, Loth, all of them chasing Makoto Kubo and going out on the straight. Christopher Staune has the lead over 1 second again. Stelin diving inside in the first corner. Kubo is outside of Picado and losing 2 positions. Now out of the first corner and into the second, and Remy Loth going up 2 places during these 2 corners.
Sorry about that. Here we go. We've just sorting out a few details about the driver parade later on. On track, it's an absolute barn burner of a race. That's 4 drivers chasing the race leader. Staune still has the advantage. Kubo down to third. No place. And then you've got Stelin, Picado, Loth, and Yamaguchi also in there. So Yamaguchi is actually a little bit further back. But you're looking on the screen, second,
and
third,
Kudo
fourth,
just
fifth.
lost third place. There goes Picado up to third. Kudo is losing 1 more with Remy Loth. Here, Hirofumi Yamaguchi is further back in 6th, and then comes Malvesin, Mattioli, Alhamadi, Fluri, Iracek, Piris, Rosic, and Favila down till 14th place, fighting each other.
Etienne Hoytons getting a penalty for his involvement in a crash earlier that knocked Ian Fernandez down the running order.
And also penalty for Remy Loth that puts him down in a 5th position.
So Loth in kart number 15. He is on your screens. There in the middle, kart number 15, so he's going to cost him a couple of places, but because there's such a huge gap behind this group, it's only a 3-second penalty. I mean, look at the gap. There is, well, between...
He's losing just 1 place.
Yeah, losing 1 place because you've got Hirofumi Yamaguchi all on his own, but there's 8 seconds between Remy Loth on circuit and then 7th place driver Anthony Malvesin. So it's great battling going on, but they're just allowing the lead quintet to pull away. Kauna now coming under a little bit more pressure from Remy Stelin
he got the lead
straight.
for more than 1 second, and now Stelin is closing in. Taune was far away in front while Stelin was fighting with other. Now they are going through the last corner of this lap. Taune still in front, going out of the finish straight. Remy Stelin behind him, then Picado, Kuba, and a lot between them, but with a 3 seconds penalty. And now Lot is trying to get 1 position up in a 3rd place, fighting with Picado, but still Lot is down 5th, classified with his 3 seconds penalty. But there is Stelin right behind Taune, this short straight. Stelin already tries to go inside, then before 4th corner, before Europa Lan straight, Taune leading, Remy Stelin 2nd. They are going on the straight and pulling away from everyone else. Again, we have 2 drivers fighting for the lead in front of everyone else and able to pull away over 1 second over 3rd place.
Yes, indeed. Stelin with the fastest lap so far, 1 minute 13.303 seconds. Now, Ahmed Al-Hamadi has been given a 5-second penalty. That drops the Dubai-based driver down to 15th position. Enzo Giracek has also been given a penalty. We look at the top 2 on the track. Here's the move for the race lead, and it looks like Stelin to the inside. Remy Stelin takes the lead away from Christopher Staune as they cross the line, and that allows Remy Loth and Fabio Picado to close in. Remy Loth 3rd on the track, 4th in the running order, because we've also had a penalty for Makoto Kubo.
And so 5 seconds, even more for Makoto Kubo.
I mean, he's been replaced by another Japanese driver, Hirofumi Yamaguchi. in fifth. But again, Remy Loth, this could be he could get a penalty and not lose a position if things carry on. And still, the Aruban fan club grows online. Mauro Maduro is in the top 20 once again, and he is aware that, you know, so many people back in the island of Aruba are watching, and we do hope that everybody in the Caribbean region is safe. I know you've got Hurricane Beryl to deal with, which is the only thing in the world that is blowing more hot air around the place than myself up here in the commentary box.
We have 15 seconds left in this race. Drivers are going through the last corner. Will be there 1 or 2 laps till the finish. Stelling leading, Taune second, 3, 2, 1, and they make it 2 laps to go. Maybe that's good news for Taune. He's chasing Stelling and still fighting for the lead. Picado is third, Remy Loth fourth with a penalty of 3 seconds. Then Hirofumi Yamaguchi and Makoto Kubo. He is behind Kubo on the track, but in front because of 5 seconds penalty for Kubo.
Now I wonder, obviously the two leaders are going to battle at some point. There is Stelling clutching down behind the NASA panel, being chased by Taune. Third place, that red and white and black crash helmet, that's Remy Loth. He's third.
He does not need to.
Yes, he wants to
this
drive
fight
away, because at the moment the only position that Remy Loth is losing is to the driver directly behind him, Fabio Picardo. If Remy Loth can just keep going, then he's not. If the leaders slow each other down, then Makoto Kubo's also got a penalty. If he's not careful, Hirofumi Yamaguchi could find himself in the top 3 here, even though he is currently 6.5 seconds behind the race leader.
And we're going into the last lap. Stelling is defensive going into the first corner. Taune goes outside and takes the qualification line. During the first corner, he's right behind Stelling at the double apex second. There is a short straight in front of them. Christopher Taune fighting for the win in a last lap of this race. Remy Stelling down in the fourth corner. From the outside goes Taune. He cuts the line and goes inside at the exit of the corner. Now Stelling is just in front of him, but Taune now is outside, approaching next corner before the button chicane. Remy Stelling leading. They're fighting each other, but still managing to hold off everyone else, and goes wide. Stelling, Taune is through at the exit of this corner, and once again to the inside goes Stelling. Taune second, and there comes Remy Loth, who has 3 seconds penalty, but now it's his chance to get the lead.
The problem that Remy Loth is going to have is that he's going to slow him down a little bit. Battling is going to slow him down. He just needs to sort of get a clean run through the last couple of corners. Remy Loth is battling for the win on the track, but he has a 3-second in-race penalty. It's going to be Remy Stelling leaping up and down, and Remy Loth eventually finishes fourth. Christoph Sauna second, Fabio Picardo third. Loth is classified fourth. There's a sporting gesture some sporting gesture, I believe. That's all's fair in love and war. Hirofumi Yamaguchi is fifth. Makoto Kubo is sixth after his 5-second penalty. Then it's Anthony Malvesi and Ricardo Lopez Pires. Trent Maroney had a quiet race, I gotta say. Comes home in ninth position, followed by Michael Mattioli. Simon Delven, we didn't mention him once during that race.
But he got 10 positions up.
He gained 10 positions, but that means that no driver is undefeated now in the Saudi World Series. That is why Saudi can't change the format so much to make it much more of a level playing field, so that one on-track session doesn't have so much dictation over how your weekend fares. Behind them, Marco Rosic, Hans Fleury, Eduardo Favila, Ahmed Al-Hamadi, Pedro Raimundo Hernandez, Stefan Marudov, Vincent Hines, Enzo Jiracek, Olivia Kanalovics, Amaury Maduro, 21st for Aruba, and then Adrian Ionesco, Etienne Hoytens, and Ian Fernandez.
And Remy Loth somehow managed to lose only 1 position with 3 seconds penalty.
And they have found the Spanish flag. Don't take
and
it away,
taking
Spain.
it away again.
What are you doing, Spain? Put your flag back. I know, Ian Fernandez. Come on now, Spain, behave yourselves. Here's a look back at the opening couple of salvos from their 3 wide, 4 wide. The two leaders were able to get away very comfortably at the front. That was Kubo initially. Now the elbowing began.
There was changing company for Christopher Saune at the lead.
Yes.
But they were two in the front.
Yes, Sauna was the ever present at the front. Now this is yes, bang, 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 Fernandez, bang. Here
That
we go.
was a hard
That was,
hit.
That's gonna rack
He
your
almost
ribcage.
stepped out of his go-kart.
Yes, and a spin there going backwards. That's a good reverse driving for number 97, Etienne Hoytons. Hoytons got a penalty. I'm not quite sure if it's just because you're not allowed to reverse in karting, but
But he was still going the same direction.
Yes.
Just
he
in
was
reverse.
It was like Toe Mater in cars. I'm the world's best backward driver. There we go. Believe it or not, I do voice impressions as well, ladies and gentlemen.
That was quite close, I could
I'm
say.
cheap as well.
I'll notice that.
Very reasonable rates. Here we go. But there's the number 55 kart battling away. That was Remy Stelling battling continuously. Now Makoto Kubo in the number 63 kart, although that's actually the other Japanese driver. That would be, no, that is Makoto Kubo in the 63. But great replay action from there. There's the move that I think sealed the deal for Remy Stelling. Or
Not yet, but
Yes.
anyway, one of the moves.
One of the moves as the last couple of laps, checkered flag waving, and that is the end of Heat
Only
3
first.
Group A. Oh, the Spanish aren't listening to me. They've taken their flag away. I'm very upset with them. Consider me upset. I'm only joking, Spain. Let's have a look. Its next race up is Heat 3 Group B, coming up shortly.
Welcome back, everyone. That was only the first group of sprint category drivers we just saw on the track, and we have three races left today in a heat. Three groups of sprint category drivers. The Group B now taking their seats in go-karts. Levente Szabo in the go-kart number 38 on a left side of your screen is a pole position for this race. Alessandro Grilli with 84 is second placed. Then behind them is Anthony Chevasson and Adam Ben Hajj in P3 and P4. From third row goes Benjamin Dunatov and Janne Pajunen. Jack Williamson, Jonathan Söderqvist, Teruki Noba and Maciej Szubczynski complete the top 10, and they are ready to go out on the track and prepare for their final fight of this day. We are going through the third heat of this day. Third heat, already fighting for the points in total scores. We have 25 points available for the winner of the race, and we have 50 in a super heat at Saturday. We have more than 100 in a finals, and only the points accumulated together through the heats, through the super heat and the final will decide the winner in Saudi World Series. Now it's time for sprint category Group B. Go to the grid and race. But everyone else, please do not leave the track, do not leave the circuit, and wait for opening ceremony and drivers parade. After the heat, we will have opening ceremony here on the track in front of grandstands, so there will be great party this evening. And tomorrow we will continue with the endurance race for 12 hours, and then Saturday all these guys will be back fighting for Saudi World Series in a sprint category. So now we're going to race again, and after third heat, after 3 more races, there will be drivers parade and opening ceremony. So everyone whose race is already over for this day, don't leave the track and wait for opening ceremony. But now Levente Szabo and Alessandro Grilli lining up in the front row on the grid. Szabo inside, Grilli from outside. On a second row, Anthony Chevasson and Adam Ben Hajj in fourth position. Then third row for Benjamin Dunatov and Janne Pajunen. Jack Williamson and Jonathan Söderqvist starting 7th and 8th. In row number 5, Teruki Noba and Maciej Szubczynski. There behind them is Viktor Kublitsky and Karl Hermier. Then Kirill Martelog and Luis Andrade in 7th row. P15 on the grid, Laurent Carrier from P16, starting formation lap, Daniel Dobish, then Stoyan Dosev, Leonardo Blake, Marko Favazzo, Jakub Tworzowski in P20, followed by Jan Bonwan, Mahdi Kadiri, Brock Thornton from 23rd, and Dwight Edwards Jr. from 24th position on the grid.
So we saw Dwight Edwards make a number of positions in his previous race, but Levente Szabo, who won on the road in his second heat race and then received a penalty, I believe.
And we saw Kirill Martelog winning second heat of this day, and now he is down in the 13th position on the grid.
The only driver representing Morocco is on the grid, Mahdi Kadiri, but watch for Jack Williamson in kart number 48 after almost winning his second race and ending up in the barriers down in 8th position. Jack is a West Ham United fan. They call him the Hammers. He is going to get the hammer down here and salvage as many points. Top 5 last year for Jack. Here we go into the grid. Szabo, Grilli, Chevasson, Ben Hajj, Dunatov, Pajunen, Williamson, Söderqvist, Nobe, Czubinski, Kublitsky, Hermier, Martelog, Andrade, Carrier, Dobish, Dosev, Bleak, Havazzo, and the rest.
And as you are talking, they are lining up the grid almost at the same time as you are mentioning them. Like, it seemed like planned.
Almost.
So very great executed.
I wish it was planned. Oh no, I've given it all away.
And now green flag is down. There is a very good start for Anthony Chevasson. He's already on the inside of front row. Grilli and Szabo fighting each other. And it's Anthony Chevasson who goes through from third on the grid to the first in a first corner.
Chevasson, 8th a year ago, 12th the year before, has the lead. Everybody else following in line. A good clean start. And I have to say, there's only 3 karts 3 wide, which is a rarity. Most of the rest of the field 2 wide or even single file as they filter through turn number 4 and head down the Europa Plan straight. But it is Chevasson now with 3 wide. Here's the battle of a second. No, that's the battle of a fourth. Somebody else in the barriers. The tyre barriers, the button chicane claim another victim. We'll look up the driver extricating himself and his wagon from the barriers. Everybody else going through cleanly. We'll try and see who that was. Oh dear, New Zealand.
We have 4 leaders going through the last corners of this lap. 4 cars simultaneously going into the last corner. Chevasson, after a great start, now has lost some positions. Levente Szabo is back fighting for the win at the end of the first lap. And Chevasson goes inside again at the same place before the first corner. He's inside and takes the lead again. Levente Szabo fighting for second now with Tenuki Nobe.
And in 4th position, just behind that group with a white crash helmet, that looks like it could be Alessandro Grilli, or is it Karl Hermier, as they head down into the setting sun here in Belgium. New leader Levente Szabo heads back to the top at turn number 4 and runs a little bit wide. We're 3 wide down the Europa Plan estate, and on the inside, who is that? Is that Nobe getting help? Are they all going to get through turn 5 cleanly? They sort themselves out. Yes,
Chevasson is down 1 place to third. He has lost to Tenuki Nobe. Japanese driver is up to second behind Levente Szabo. Great fight for top 5 drivers. They are going at the end of the second lap of this race to penultimate corner, and now they are joined by 4 more cars. They are top 8 going at the same time in the last corner.
I have to say that apart from 1 or 2 Thailanders, I mean, we saw Benjamin Dunatov from New Zealand and Leonardo Bleek from Germany sort of having a few issues earlier on. The rest of the field
Tenuki Nobe goes first in the next lap in front of Alessandro Grilli and Anthony Chevasson. Chevasson still holding third in front of Hermier, Kublitsky, and Szabo is down from first to sixth.
Side by side, I'm trying to see who that is in the dark blue race suit going through there. Adam Ben Haj is dropped to 8th position. Jack Williamson, not been a great start for Jack. The Englishman down into 12th place, just in front of Luis Andrade. Mahdi Kadiri from Morocco up into P14. Now a great drive from the Moroccan driver, and further back, inside move there for the driver of the green race suit. That's for about 2, 4, 6, 8, 9th position. I think that could be Marco Favazzo or even Jani Pajunen from Finland. As we check there, and just behind Pajunen is Williamson. In fact, I think that is maybe Luis Andrade also now behind Williamson as well. We complete lap number 3 and go on to lap number 4 now. Tenuki Nobe continues to just hold off the number 84 kart of Italy's Alessandro Grilli in the white crash helmet, the Sodi kart race suit. Then in 3rd place, Anthony Chevasson, and in 4th, France's Karl Hermier.
Behind them, Viktor Kublitsky is 5th. Kirill Martolog up to 6th position in front of Adam Ben Haj. Then Marco Favazzo is 8th. Levente Szabo down to 9th position in front of Daniel Dobish. Jack Williamson up to 11th. Then Janne Pajunen, Mahdi Kadiri, Luis Andrade and Jakub Twardzowski top 15. Leaders still fighting. There is nothing left from Tenuki Nobe's advantage in front.
Now, Adam Ben Haj, interesting character, a Tunisian passport. He's raced in the MENA Nations Cup for Tunisia. He's got the Greek flag next to him, but he's actually based in the United Arab Emirates. So he's a cosmopolitan driver, if ever there was one. Here we go. The Taruki Nobe, knees up, back down, weight over the rear axle.
And Chevasson goes inside of Alessandro Grilli. Grilli stays outside. Anthony Chevasson almost gets second position, but now is down to third and fighting for fourth with Viktor Kublitsky.
Side by side for fifth and sixth position between Kirill Martolog and Adam Ben Haj. Behind them we have Favazzo and Levente Sabo. Sabo did try to take the lead earlier and has fallen back. It's still Taruki Nobe leading Alessandro Grilli, and Nobe is actually pulling clear now. Will Japan get their first heat win of the 2024 Saudi World Series finals? The U-Kart circuit based driver Taruki Nobe, 22nd in this event 1 year ago, leading as things stand, with a whole host of characters queuing up behind him, and
the whole first 10 drivers queuing up behind. Taruki Nobe just had a small advantage over everyone else. One more lap completed. There is 0.7 seconds. It already seems as a huge distance, but anyway, everyone is quite close behind. Kublitsky, Grilli, Chevasson and Hermier. They have swapped their places a couple of times already. Now Viktor Kublitsky is up to second place. Grilli third, Chevasson fourth and Karl Hermier. Behind them comes Adam Ben Haj and Levente Zabo. Dobish is 8th, Jack Williamson up to 9th.
Now, Brock Thornton, Aussie in this race, has moved into the top 20, and I can almost hear the Aussie crowd here in the grandstand erupting. Never has a 20th place drive earned so much plauditory. However, we talked about the Australian t-shirts. One of the Australian team members, I have to try and check who it is, it might be Brock, has got the best moustache here in the paddock. It is the last time I saw a pair of handlebars like that guy's moustache, it was on a Harley Davidson.
And Levente Zabo, losing at the start, going down to 10th position now, is creeping back through the order up to 7th, and in this lap up to 6th place. Levente Zabo over Adam Ben Haj, in front of him then Karl Hermier, Anthony Chevasson, Alessandro Grini, Viktor Kublitsky and Tanuki Nobe still leading with half a second.
Oh, Chevasson up the inside going through turn number 2 there, the second part of that double apex left-hander. And we go towards turn number 4 now. Nobe leads by half a second. Although the drivers 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th on your screens now. Single file trying to work together. And, well, I have to say Taruki Nobe is going to be a very nervous Japanese driver any moment. Anthony Chevasson getting a warning flag for his earlier attempts to make a move at turn number 2. Here we go. This is the Japanese driver, Taruki Nobe, holding off Kublitsky. Grilli, a 3-second penalty for Anthony Chevasson. So that will drop him from the lead group down to 13th place as things stand. Driver number 4, and that's behind Madi Kadiri, who is now running 12th for Morocco. Jack Williamson has made his way up into 8th, and as they come through turn number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's 10 karts, 11 karts, all in a line, including Madi Kadiri, Marco Favazzo, Adam Ben Haj, and Daniel Dobish, Levente Sabo, and Kirill Martolog.
Anthony Chevasson still third on the track, fighting for second now and going into second now, but he is classified because of only 3 seconds penalty. He is classified 13th.
Yeah, I just look at this. It's like a high-speed French freight train. We'll just call it the TVG. The TGV.
Sabo inside, gaining 1 position back up to top 5.
down the infield straight towards Clubhouse Corner. Shavas on the second cart on your screen. Oh, who's that running wide? Gesticulations aplenty in the red and white race suit. Trying to get a name check on that driver, obviously showing his displeasure at something or other. And they're still battling wheel to wheel as they cross the line. Look at this, 1 lap to go, and we're 3 wide for about 9th and 10th places. Taruki Nobe, the land of the rising sun. The sun might be setting here in Genk in Belgium, but Nobe is making sure that the sun is rising over his chances to improve upon last year's finish at the very least.
The checkered flag already ready and waiting for Teruki Nobe. He's leading by 1.2 seconds. There are 3 drivers fighting at the end of the straight. Kublitsky. There is also Shevason still fighting in the top 3, but down order in a 13th place. 3 seconds. That separates P3 from P13.
Incredible stuff. Nobe is clear. Here's the battle for second. Shavasson has it on the road, but it is going to be the number 11 car, Carl Ermier, holding off Levente Sabo, and also Alessandro Grilli in this battle as well. So is Viktor Kublitsky. It's going to be Kublitsky who will take second place, even though Shavasson, but Teruki Nobe wins for Japan. Hermier grabs second on the last lap from Kublitsky. How far does Shavasson fall? He falls to 8th place. Sabo in 4th, Grilli in 5th, Williamson 6th, Favazzo 7th, then Shavasson, followed by Yanni Payunen and Adam Ben Haj. Kirill Martelog and Jacob Twazowski is next. Madi Kadiri finishes 13th. Jan Bonvin is next, followed by Daniel Dobish, Leonardo Bleak, Magic Shubinski, followed by Dwight Edwards Jr. from the United States. Then it is Brock Thornton up to 19th for Brocky. And then Stoyan Dosev, Jonathan Söderqvist, Benjamin Donatov, Laurent Carrier. Poor result for Laurent Carrier in cart number 10. And Luis Andrade, it's been an up and down day for our Brazilian friend, retired from his first heat, top 10 in his second heat, and stone last, but still running in his third heat.
The third heat for Group B is over. We have 2 races left before Drivers' Parade and opening ceremony. So everyone get ready, get your flags, get your best outfits and prepare for Drivers' Parade. But we still have 2 races on the track.
Here's we're going to have a quick look back there, but yes, everyone get their best clobber ready. I brought my fanciest frock, so just for the occasion, only joking. As we look at the spectator tribunes here at Karting Genk, and we have just 2 races to go today, 2 out of 24 races. And we can't bring you the current point standings in this class, sadly, but we will bring you up to date after the end of the heat. So
just because the point standings is not telling much so far before we count everyone together, because if you are leading in your group, that means nothing. There could be 3 more drivers with the same amount of points during one heat.
Exactly. So with the 97 sprint series entries, okay, we're down to 95 because Victor Christiansen from Denmark and our Lithuanian friend also out of the event. They didn't turn up. They couldn't, obviously, maybe travel issues, illness or something happened, family problems. We hope that they are okay. But, I mean, looking ahead tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I know there's lots of you watching on the Sodi Kart YouTube channel and the Sodi World Series Facebook page. But, I mean, we have got... we've got teams from Portugal, Serbia, Ukraine, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, the United Arab Emirates, Colombia. Who else have we got in action tomorrow? Poland, Hungary, France, Thailand. They've got representatives in tomorrow's endurance race. So have Austria. So have Morocco. In fact, Hamza Belhassan, who is in that team, is watching on Facebook and commenting in. We'll see you later tonight, Hamza. Italy have got teams in tomorrow's endurance event. Looking down there, Ukraine, France, Poland, Croatia have got a team. And there are plenty of Slovenia have got a team in there. Greece have got a team. Plenty. We've even got a driver, Kilian Sanchez from Monte Carlo, racing tomorrow. So it's going to be a really big festival. 48 teams, 4 drivers per team. And of course, if you are... Max Papworth has joined the live chat. He raced for the UK last year. Everybody is sorry to see that Max Papworth isn't here, apart from the Sodi kart mechanics that have had their maintenance hours cut right back because Max isn't there to break all their go-karts. I'm only joking, Max. We will be back very shortly. This is the Sprint Cup Group B, Group C, Heat 3. So as we look at the Group C drivers set to start this next race, pole position will be the number 70 kart, Marco Silva from Portugal. Now, if you know any Portuguese men or women, you know they don't need much of a reason to have a bit of a sing-song, a celebration and a jump around. They've got a driver on pole position for this one, and here they come out onto the starting grid, and very shortly we will be able to bring you the full starting lineup. And those 2 Sodi kart officials there, they have got great faith in the maintenance team here, checking the brakes, put it that way. Here we go with I think we have a different set of names, so we might have a wait there because the kids... that's better. Here we go then with the full starting lineup. Marco Silva from Portugal and Victor Vota from Poland on row number 1.
Right behind them, Anthony Simon and Simon Dolzhitsky on a second row on the grid.
Logan Suni from Belgium and Spain's Diego Perez Lara go from row 3.
Then P7 and P8, Michal Nemeth and Marco Brown.
Ilyas Miftukadinov from Ukraine and Jean-Francois Drepeau from Canada round out your top 10.
P11 for Benjamin Kuyvers, behind him Alexis Melis.
Octavian Lungu from Moldova and Nick Kosasida from Slovenia are next.
P15, Ruslan Zdenis, Latvia, and Filip Josic in P16.
Starting on row number 9, Tommaso Pazzetti from Italy and Juan Esteban from Spain.
Polish Tomasz Rompchik in P19, Etienne Mayrand from Canada is 20th.
The final 3 drivers of the grid, Khaled Alameri from the United Arab Emirates, Vladimir Yanchenko, and Switzerland's Sven Chevali. Sadly, Danish driver Victor Christiansen, well, is not here with us this weekend.
At least on the track.
On the track, he is here with us in our hearts, and hopefully he is here, well, virtually watching, although if I'd have qualified for a World Finals then wasn't able to attend, would I watch it on live stream? No, I probably want to...
That would hurt too much.
Yes, I would probably want to go and hide in a corner somewhere, cry. Anyway, less of the crying, there'll be tears of joy and tears of sorrow on Saturday. At the moment, it's all about putting yourself in the best position possible when you go into Saturday's Superheating final. Points mean prizes.
Marco Silva on pole position, showing something. Maybe to Anthony Simon behind him. They are preparing for the start. Everyone is back from the formation lap. Green flag at the start. We are ready to race again. Marco Silva and Victor Vota from the front row. Vota gets a better start and now is a few centimeters in front, but Marco Silva still got inside line going into the first corner. Vota from the outside is faster and takes the lead. Victor Vota is leading, Marco Silva now second, and behind them Anthony Simon, Simon Dolzhitsky and Logan Sunye still fighting.
Again, Victor Vogt had a slow start to the weekend, and he's the race week, but he certainly has woken up today as Vota side by side coming out of turn number 4, checks over his shoulder to see how close you've got Marco Silva, Anthony Simon, and then in the blue, the multicolored blue race suit, is that Simon Dolzhitsky, I wonder? Let's have a look at the race numbers as they come round in 4th place. Oh, we're 3 wide, and that's actually Logan Sunye. Sorry, in the blue race suit, Logan Sunye, Belgium's Logan Sunye, up to P3. But look at that, as the rest of the field battle, the top 2, well, it's like Escape from Alcatraz, only in Belgium, with Vota leading the charge, and the rest trying to catch up.
Logan Sunye started great from P5 on the grid and now is 3rd in front of a very big bunch of drivers. 2 leaders going into the first corner, Victor Vota and Diego Perez Lara from Spain chasing him. Then it seems like Lara already in the first lap tried to show Victor Vota, run away, let's run away from them.
Bad news for Logan Sunye. 5-second penalty on the opening lap. Already, Sunye, who is there in 3rd place, has fallen foul of the stewards and the observers on track. Now, 5 seconds at the moment. Well, at the end of lap number 2, Sunye is miles behind the top 2, but he is in front of everybody else. It'll be interesting to see, as this race progresses, how many places Sunye can make up.
Now he's making one down.
Yeah, he's going down a place there, but I think at the moment, so Sunye effectively will be 23rd and last at the end of this lap. But of course, as the race continues, Sunye is a very decent peddler. Will cross the line. Race leader checks over his shoulder. Just having a look there, that's Victor Vota. So Sunye, 4th on the road.
And going back inside in the first corner, trying to get his 3rd position back on the track. Just on the track, he's fighting 3rd, but has received the penalty.
Sunye would drop him down to... it would drop him to 19th position.
Is it Sunye?
Sunye's been given a penalty.
Benjamin Kuyvers.
So has the number 70 of Marco Silva. And the number 28 has also been given a penalty. Kuivers.
Also, then Logan Sunier and Benjamin Kuivers, both of them got 5 seconds.
And the pole sitter Marco Silva has a 3-second penalty as well. So this race has suddenly become somewhat difficult to commentate on because half the drivers in the lead pack have been given time penalties. What?
That seems like accountants can understand better this race than us.
Yes. But the balance sheet is tipping in the favour of Victor Vota and Diego Perez Lara as they come out there. So Perez Lara in second position.
He has not once tried to overtake Vota. He is just chasing him and pushing on the straight just to go faster and faster and get away from everyone else.
So Sunyi's penalty has now dropped him to 16th position. So already Logan Sunyi is gaining places, not on track, but in the classification as he pulls away. Franco Pazzetti cheering on Tommaso Pazzetti. Well, I'm very sorry, Franco, but Tommaso is down in 21st position at the moment. But the driver's running now. Benjamin Kuivers, the penalty is now it's going to be applied. So Kuivers in third place on the road, Sunyi in fourth place on the road. They have both got penalties. That's going to bring Ilyas Miftagduni. Right, I'll say it again.
Miftagudinov now is fighting them on the track, but does he know that he already is in front of them, classified there?
Yeah, Marco Braun is next. Then Anthony Simon, Alexis Melis, Nick Kosasina is effectively now into 7th position. Mikhail Niemetsk and Khaled Al-Amari up into 9th position, ahead of Vladimir Yanchenko and Russians Denis Simal Dosicki, Sven Chivali, and Marco Silva with a penalty as well. Let's have a look. Kuivers down to 8th place, so the field spreading out, and you can see now, there are your two leaders on the screen. Then a gap back to Kuivers in third, Sunyi fourth in the road. But look at the big gap behind this second group of karts. Kuivers and Sunyi are hoping to slot into that gap behind Nick Kosasina.
No, they are still fighting on the track, and we do not know if they are aware of their penalties. 5 seconds for Kuivers, 3 seconds for Silva, and 5 seconds for Sunie. Victor Vota and Diego Perez Lara still leading. Lara has not even once tried to overtake Vota. He knows that if they lose time, they will get chased by everyone else. There is Ilya Miftahkudinov, now actually classified third. Marco Braun fourth, Anthony Simon fifth, then Melis, Koshenina, Kuivers, Yanchenko and Marco Silva P10 in their rankings.
Now, driver with a very, very distinctive red, white race suit, red top to his crash helmet. He's sitting behind Logan Sunyi at the moment. That is Ilyas Miftagudinov. I will get it right before Saturday, I promise.
But I think before sunset.
Sunset. I better get it right for the drivers' parade. Yes, Miftagudinov is there in third position now, even though on the road he is only fifth. He's the third driver in that group, just flashing across your screen, but the only driver in that group who hasn't got a time penalty.
And someone could tell him somehow that he does not have to risk overtaking those two drivers.
Yes, I mean, I would try and push them away because, well, it depends. I mean, if he wants to mess Kuivers and Sunyi's chance up even more, he would start battling with them and slow them down, because the more they slow down, they're going to lose more places.
Yes, but there are 5 drivers coming right behind.
Yes, he doesn't.
And that's a company that Miftagudinov does not want to join them.
No, he does not want to. He doesn't want to keep that company at all. That is Braun, Simon, Melis, and Kosasina are sort of closing in. Also in
and
that
great
pack, we have Marco Silva.
Great cooperation between Victor Vota and Diego Perez Lara. There are 2.5 minutes and 1 lap left, and Diego Perez Lara in every straight is just pushing Victor Vota, still pushing further away from third place driver.
Looking at the lap times, 1 minute 12.8. That is only 0.6 of a second off the best time we saw, some of the best time we saw in qualifying yesterday. Well, we went out for qualifying the 3 sessions. The tyres were brand new. They've now had a full day of racing on them, and still some of the best drivers in the Sprint Cup can match those qualifying performances. And there they go. So here are 2 Belgian drivers running 3rd and 4th on track. In the final running order, they are 8th and 9th. But the 2 leaders, there we go. Victor Vota, Diego Perez Lara. Vota's not defending, and Perez Lara is working brilliantly with him. And I have to say, as you're looking now at the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place carts on your screen, going through now, that is Miftakudinov is doing a great job as well, cooperating, pushing his rivals away, keeping Alexis Mellis, Marco Brown, Anthony Simon, and Nick Kosasina at bay. Behind the top 10, Vladimir Yanchenko, Sven Chevali, Simon Dolcicki, Etienne Meran, and Mikhail Nemets round out your top 15.
Miftakudinov, 3rd classified, still chasing 2 drivers with the penalties. 5th on the track and 3rd in the rankings. Miftakudinov just set the best lap time so far with 1 minute 12.8 seconds. 2 leaders in front when Diego Perez Lara will decide to try to fight with Vota. This is the best cooperation we have seen so far. No other drivers had the patience so long in one race. We have 20 seconds till the end of the time plus 1 lap to race. Will it be in a last lap? Will it be in a penultimate lap when Lara will he try to overtake Vota for the win? They have more than 2 seconds advantage over everyone else, so they are practically free to fight each other. There is 2 seconds to go, 2 laps to go, and Lara goes inside the first corner. Victor Vota now is behind second, but was not it too early? We have still 2 laps to race.
Yes, indeed. But Victor Vota will wait to see, will he look over his shoulder, or is he aware already that he has a huge gap behind him as we look at the...
And at the straight, Vota is very, very close, coming closer at the end of the straight. No, he stays second. And Lara is leading. Diego Perez Lara in front of Victor Vota. They still have more than 1 second advantage over 3rd place driver on the track and more than 2 seconds over 3rd place driver in the rankings.
Yes, indeed. Down towards Clubhouse Corner we go. Vota chasing Perez Lara. And they will get the 1 lap to go signal next time.
Anyway, it's single lap.
It's a single lap. They'll get the signal for the single lap. Here we go. 1 more tour around this 1,360 meter karting Genk circuit.
Defensive in the first corner. There is no place for Victor Vota to get his position back. They both are slow through the first corner, and the drivers behind them are closing in. But there is less than 1 lap till finish line. Diego Perez Lara leading, and Victor Vota in the second place out of the Europa Land straight. Vota changed his line during the 4th corner. Now he's right behind Lara, braking for the next corner in front of tire barriers. The others are closing in. Vota is right behind Lara, less than half a lap to go.
Benjamin Kivers, 3rd on the road, is actually up to 6th in the classification when his penalty has been applied, ahead of Anthony Simon. Logan Sunyi, although he is only half a second behind Kivers on track, he is
and they are side by side. Now they are running 4 drivers into the last corner. 2 of them have penalties and actually are classified at the end of the first 10. Who will take the win in this mad race? There is a checkered flag, and first over the line goes Diego Perez Lara. Victor Vota is second. Ilias Miftakudinov takes 3rd. Then Alexis Mellis is 4th. Marco Brown 5th, and Benjamin Kivers with 5-second penalty is classified 6th in front of Logan Sunye.
0.2 of a second, and they're the 2 Belgian drivers celebrating at the moment. I'm not sure if they're aware they're celebrating 6th and 7th positions. Not there, but Diego Perez Lara does beat Victor Vota by 0.2 of a second. Ilyas Miftakodinov is third in the standings. Alexis Mellis in 4th position. Then it is Marco Brown, and then the two Belgians, Kaivers and Sunyi, with their penalties, 6th and 7th. Anthony Simon is 8th, Nick Cosacina 9th, and the poleman, Marco Silva, finishes 10th after his 3-second penalty has been applied. Further back, Vladimir Yanchenko, Sven Chevali, Simon Dolzicki, and Etienne Mirand. Khalid Alamari is 15th. Thomas Pazzetti, 16th with a penalty. 17th for Russians Zenis with a penalty. Filip Josic, Thomas Romchik, Octavian Longi, Juan Esteban, Jean-Francois Drepeau, and Mika Niemetz are the remaining runners as we look back. And you can see one of the officials there pointing, saying, you're about to get a penalty, my old chestnut, unless you move out of the way. And the driver was like, well, I'll try my luck. I would imagine that would have been, well, I don't know, Marco Silva maybe, it wasn't his race suit, but great cooperation between the top two. Volta led the majority of the race, and is this the move from Perez Lara going into turn number 1? Not quite.
It was like so much patience demonstrated by Diego Perez Lara. 2 laps to go, and only then he dives inside the first corner, takes the lead from Victor Vota, and they are far enough away from everyone else to stay out of trouble.
And there was another move down at the... so, of course, there's Perez Lara looking at him in cart number 47. When he's banging on the steering wheel because he thinks he's just come third, I imagine his mood will go up and he will be happy knowing that he's won the race. Once more into the breach, dear friends, once more. That was Richard III. That's Shakespeare, apparently. What do I know? The final race of the day is about to begin. It's not the final event of the day here at the circuit. We have the welcome party and the drivers' parade. We won't be bringing you that on the live stream. We will be bringing you 10 minutes plus 1 lap of action as Heat 3 Group D all get set to start. And, Duke Melchior, the grand old Duke of Melchior, he had 23 rivals. They're all going to march him out to the grid.
And Duke Melchior with a very good positioning now in the overall classification. He already won the second heat of this day. Then he was in an A group. Now he's in a D. But anyway, one P1 already for Duke Melchior today. He was not between the leaders in a first heat, but with a great second, he is chasing the win in overall ratings.
Yes, indeed. And we are getting closer and closer to the end of the racing here today. But do we have another barn burner in store for us? Because we have indeed had some excellent racing today. Let's have...
And there are no signs that this race could be less exciting than the races before.
Let's look, because the starting order is as followed. Once again, quite jumbled up with Duke Melchior from Germany and Alberto Brentegani on the outside of row number 1.
From the second row on the grid, Davis Zalmans, Latvia, and Albert Boss.
Nico Tik, who is having his best performance in this heat, his best starting slot, as well as Aidan Campbell-Bailey from the United States.
Behind them, Ahmed El Sisi and Nathan Salone.
Simon Legal and Tom Vielputz. Tom, who led until the last moments of his previous heat. Can he go one better from the middle of the pack here?
Niklas Esser and Simon Laflamme from 6th row.
Mitch Chimes from Australia and Konstantinos Nousapoulos from Greece are next.
P15 for Kaspars Ritums and 16 Hari Swaninen.
Amrul Afikbod Fakhrudi from Malaysia and Jan Cheka from Belarus are next.
Then Kevin Andrea Maharo and Michal Vilim.
With Dario Pemov, Nofel Al-Balushi and Jose Francisco Gonzalez Jimenez. They round out the field once again. Germany, Italy, Latvia, the Netherlands, Slovenia, the United States, Egypt, France, Austria, Canada, Australia, Greece, Finland, Malaysia, Belarus, Madagascar, Slovakia, Belgium, and Oman, all represented along with Spain in this race. And will we have a grandstand finish to what has been a grandstand day here at Karting Genk, home of champions, in what actually is sunny Belgium. I didn't think I'd be saying that this morning.
Drivers are back on the grid, sun is shining, the wind is blowing, the track is dry, so dry we have never seen through 2 days of racing, 2 or 4 days of racing here in Genk, and the race begins with a green flag going down. Duke Melchior from the inside, Alberto Brentiniani from the outside. There is great start for Nico Teach and Albert Boss going from outside to the third position right now to the first corner, but Melchior and Brentegani leading.
And one driver getting up over the curbs going through the inside line there. That could have been from the third or fourth row of the grid there. Possibly David Zalmans getting up on the curb. The rest of the field flooding their way down towards turn number 4 now, with Duke Melchior with the silver crash helmet, I believe, leading the way.
And poor start for Aidan Campbell-Bailey. He is down to the end of top 10. We're going through the long straight alongside road, but Melchior and Brent Tegani fighting for the lead.
Oh, a couple of the back markers getting sideways as they try to exit the button chicane. The top 4, top 5 are now clear, heading down the infield straight towards Clubhouse Bend, and it is the silver crash helmet of Duke Melchior who has the race lead. Is that Brent Tegani in second? Oh, Nico Teek has already got a penalty for contact. That I thought a couple of
Already
carts
penalty
sideways.
or warning flag? Oh no, penalty 2.
So Melchior and Brent Tegani are first and second, with Boss Zalmans Teek who hasn't had his penalty applied. He's 5th on the road at the moment. Then the white race suit of Nathan Salawan is in 5th position, but it's the silver crash helmet of Duke Melchior leading the black race suit and white crash helmet of Italy's Alberto Brent Tegani as they head through turn number 4 on lap 2.
Brent Tegani pushing before the 5th corner, before entering the button chicanes. He's pushing the leader, but it seems like he's trying to repeat the same scenario we saw the previous race. Brent Tegani is not trying to overtake Melchior, but trying to run away from the rest of the field. Albert Boss, David Zalmans, Nico Teach, and with a penalty applied, Nico Teach goes down to 11th place.
Here we go into Clubhouse Bend. Melchior, Brent Tegani, 1-2. Then a gap back to Boss and Zalmans. Out of turn number 10. We saw lots of cooperation in the previous race, Gert. Will we see the similar type of cooperation between Melchior and Brent Tegani at the front of this one? All signs point to yes being the answer, although as I say that, we're looking at Brent Tegani having a little sniff to the inside.
No, it seems like Melchior just ran a little bit wide at the exit of the first corner, and Brent Tegani did not try to make use of it. He stayed second and now is trying to pull away.
He probably thinks that, yeah, there's a chasing pack behind him. Now, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7th cart in line with the white back on his race suit, the very bright green, green and silver and pink colour crash helmet. That is France's Nathan Salwan, who has been very impressive, quietly going about his business. Ahmed El Sisi from Egypt is having a good run. He is up into P7. And let's remind us, ladies and gentlemen, number 4, Ahmed El Sisi, he was 6th as a junior a year ago. So this is his first race in the Saudi World Series, or his first year in the finals as a senior driver.
One more lap completed. Alberto Brent Tegani still at the rear bumper of Duke Melchior. He's not trying to overtake. He's pushing Melchior further in front, just away from Albert Boss, David Zalmans, Niklas Esser, Ethan Salaun and Kaspars Ritums.
Yes, here we go. And again, same bit of cooperation. 3rd place driver Albert Boss falling away. He's falling back into the clutches of David Zalmans and Nicholas Esser. There they go. Then you got the bright yellow crash helmet. That is Kaspars Ritmus. Ahmed El Sisi runs in 8th position. Once again, Brent Tegani gives Melchior just a little love tap down the main straight towards the button chicane. Just to sort of help him along, and it is working because they have now got a 1-second lead over the 3rd, 4th and 5th place drivers. The rest of the field falling away behind. All 23 drivers still running down the back of the field with a 5-second penalty. Simon Legal from Austria. Who else has got a penalty? Tom Vielputz has got a 3-second penalty. We've got penalties as well for Konstantinos Nusapoulis and for Nico Teek. Top 10 performance at the moment for Amrul Afik Mod Fakhrudi from Malaysia.
We have halfway through the race. 5 minutes plus 1 lap left. Melchior still leading. Alberto Brent Tegani And his tactics are working. They are pulling away from Albert Boss, David Zalmans, Niklas Esse. There are 1, 2, 3, almost 7 drivers in a row fighting for the places from 3rd till end of the first 10. Nikotic is classified 9th now, but with a 3 seconds penalty he is further up on the track. Brent Tegani and Melchior still pulling away. There is no overtaking, no trying to overtake from Alberto Brentegani. He knows what he is doing. He knows they have to go away, and then they can start to fight at the end of the race.
And I have to say that usually in these situations, the last heat races, you see drivers getting more and more desperate. But because of this format, because they know that on Saturday they have got double points available in the final and 1.5 times the regular heat points available in the super heats, they think, well, why get desperate now? So this format really working. Yes, we're getting driving standards penalties, but there are a lot more penalties being handed out because there are a lot more observers and officials watching the action. Drivers still trying to put their hands in the air every time they feel they've been slighted. But checking outside the steward's room every once in a while, as is my want, the queue of drivers isn't as big as usual. So there's a lot of people thinking, oh, yeah, okay, I know what I did there, and I got caught. But there we go. Melchior continues to lead from Brentegani. They have a 1.9 second advantage over this battle on our screens now. Boss, then Dalmans. With the white crash helmet, the sort of the black stripe going down the centre of it, and then the plain white crash helmet of who is that behind the plain white crash helmet? That's Nico Tick, I think it is. He has been given a 3 second penalty, and that drops him behind Nathan Salawan, Niklas Esse, Kasper Ritmus, and Ahmed El Sisi.
And now leaders back on the starting straight. We had 2.5 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Still Alberto Brentegani waiting for his opportunity. They have a more than 2 seconds gap behind them. There is a 2 seconds free track in front of Boss, Zalmans and Niklas Esser fighting for their positions. Nathan Salon now is down to 6 and classified in front of Nikotic, but Nikotic riding in front now is up in the order to 7th.
Tom Vielputz gets his second penalty of the race, dropping him to 23rd and last. Dario Pemov gets a penalty, and that drops him to 22nd. Simon Legal, with a 5 second penalty applied, is plugging away in 17th. He's trying to pass Jan Chaika and Jose Francisco Gonzalez Jimenez, who has moved up from the back of the grid to 15th position. Let's have a quick mention for Nofil Al-Balushi in 13th place, and Amrul Afikmod Fakhrudi running in 12th position. And also, let's not forget Madagascar's Kevin Andrea Maharo.
1 minute 20 seconds. That means there will be no last lap sign at the next crossing of finish line. Melchior and Brentegani, they still have to race for 2 complete laps.
Why is that, you think? Well, it's because there's been no battling at the front. Melchior and Brentegani have been flat out, so their lap times have been a lot better than some of the other races. So some of the other races, they've come across the line to complete lap number 8, and it's been, 1 second to go, or even no seconds to go. We're well ahead of schedule here because these two drivers are not battling, they're not slowing each other down, it's just push, push, push.
And they're helping each other each time. Brentegani gets a slipstream from Melchior, he pushes Melchior further away, and both of them are going even faster than Wood alone. So now Melchior is leading, Brentegani second, 20 seconds till the end of the time. They are already entering the last corner before the end of the lap. 15 seconds to go, 10 seconds to go, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, over the line. We have 2 more laps to compete.
Yeah, and that is potentially Brentegani's plan. There he goes. He's got 2 laps to do the move. He does it at turn number 1. He's now got 1 3/4 laps to hold off Duke Melchior's response. and there will be a response of that, I am certain. Third, fourth, and fifth on your screens. Boss, Zalmans, and then Nico Tik, but he has got a penalty, so it's actually Nicholas Isa who is not in that battle on your screen there. Who runs
And Melchior goes back at the end of Europa Land Straight. He is back in the lead. We did not have to wait whole lap, and Duke Melchior is back in the lead in front of Alberto Brentegani. They are side by side coming to the clubhouse corner. Inside for Duke Melchior, from the outside Brentegani. Brentegani goes second. Does he know he has 1 lap to go? 1 lap to fight for the win in this race. Looking at each other, entering the last corner.
Oh, there's a move. Sorry, Gertz. That's Brentegani sending one up the inside. Lick the stamp and send it. And Brentegani sees the 1 lap to go board. It was a late lunge that caught everyone off guard, including Melchior.
Melchior now back in a second. Brentegani leading the race. Less than 1 lap to go. They still have advantage of 1.5 seconds. They still can fight each other and avoid everyone else behind them. Albert Voss, David Zalmans, Niklas Esser, third, fourth, and fifth. And Melchior is through again. Melchior regains his lead. Now is in P1 again. Can they swap their positions once more? That is what Brentegani is trying to do. Melchior is already very defensive through button chicane. Now the 180 degrees corner. They are coming to clubhouse corner. From the right side of the track, defending his line, Duke Melchior, he will be very slow in this corner. Brentegani takes better line, entering it at the exit. They are side by side. There is last corner in front of them. From the right side of the track goes Melchior. Brentegani is right behind. He goes to outside. There is a longer way to go, but there is a finish line in front of them. Side by side over the finish line, Duke Melchior, Alberto Brentegani, and 0.02 seconds between them.
That is a total of 37 centimeters. We calculated it. 200ths of a second equals 37 centimeters that separated Melchior from Brentegani. And you know, the best thing about that was the first thing that both drivers did when they crossed the finish line, the hands went out for the fist bump between the pair. Great race. Melchior, Brentegani, Boss, Zalmans, and even with his penalty, Slovenia's Nico Tic gets 5th position, followed by Nicholas Isa, Ahmed El-Sisi in 7th, Kevin Andrea Maharo in 8th with the fastest lap of the race. And then we have Nathan Salawan, Konstantinos Dusopoulos, and Simon Legal in 11th, despite the 5-second penalty. Good drive for Simon Legal. Amol Afik Mod Fakhrudi is 12th for Malaysia. 13th for Oman is Nofel Al-Balushi. Then Michael Vlim, Kaspar Ritums, Jose Francisco Gonzalez Jimenez, Dario Pemov, Tom Vielputz, and the rest. Mitch Chimes in 20th, Harry Solinen down in 21st, Simon the Flam, and Aidan Campbell Bailey are your last finishers. Let's have a quick recap of this, the last race of the day. It was a good start up over the curves there. I can't quite see that. I think was Nico Tic, and that's maybe where his penalty sort of came to be. But again, Brentegani, I thought he was trying to make a move there, but he wasn't. You were quite right, Gertz. He was sitting there. He waited 2 laps to go. There's the first move.
There was a surprise move. Maybe Melchior waited that Brentegani will try attack him on a last lap. He did that on a penultimate lap, but they swapped their places twice more. At the end of the straight, Melchior goes through and Brentegani is second again.
And now, this is where Brentegani, I'm not sure if this is the last lap or the penultimate
They
lap.
both
however,
are looking back, not on each other, but how far are everybody else?
Melchior makes the move of a turn number 4 and just holds off Brentegani on the run to the line. 37 centimeters, and there. That's what you want to see. Boom. There's the shake of the hands, the fist bump, thumbs up. Good game, good game.
What a race at the end of the day, at the end of the second day of racing here in Karting Genk in Saudi World Series International Finals. The heats are over, but we still have a lot of points to grab at Saturday.
Yes, indeed. So, for you, those of you watching on the Saudi World Series Facebook page and the Saudi Kart YouTube channel, we are back on air tomorrow. And let's have a quick look at the schedule. The qualifying session for the endurance race begins at 8:15. It's a 1 hour and a half session. Are we streaming the qualifying session for the endurance race tomorrow? Yes, we are. 1.5 hours of qualifying for the endurance starting at 8:15. Then the actual endurance race starts at 10:45 a.m. A 12-hour endurance race. We will be... Oh, I'm getting signals now from our colleagues. It's just a race. So we will be on air at about 10:30 local time tomorrow morning. That's Central
Anyway,
European
we'll be
time.
more than 12 hours on air.
Yeah,
so
so
despite of lacking qualifying, we will still have a great race to watch.
Yes, and that will be it. So at the circuit, we have the welcome party and the drivers' parade. Thank you for watching on Saudi Kart's YouTube channel, on the Saudi World Series Facebook page. We will see you tomorrow. This has been a WFR live TV production on behalf of Powered by 3MK Events, the 2024 Saudi World Series International Finals from Genk. Myself and Gertz Teamrots. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.